Reparations are going to be paid. And let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something right now. Guys are mad. Just jealousy that so many people have for black people and black success. Black success isn't just some constant threat to your safety. But yet people out there feel that it is. The moment that we mention reparations for ourselves, you'll get people from other communities saying, "What about us? What about us? What about us?" And that grows old after a while. That grows old. I've seen it from several communities, be it the Asian community. Oh, well, what about us? We're being targeted by black people. No, you're not. You're being targeted by certain black people from certain countries, but not black Americans. You actually break down the crime stats. That's not what we do. This is why there's this flat blackness. This is why they want to include us with every other group, so that when every other group, from people from the Caribbean, from the African continent, from any part of the world, they just happen to be black. They want to link it to black Americans. This is why they like the term, oh, you're just black. No, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. It don't work that way. You can't go over to China and says, hey, you're just Japanese. No, 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 no. You're Chinese there. And therefore, there is a distinct and separate lineage here. Foundational black Americans, black citizens, American slaves, freemen, whatever you want to call us. You know who we are. You know exactly who we are. You've known for centuries. We are the people who are going to be paid. And you're going to have to take it. You got to get over that. Why would you want to deny people what is owed from a blood debt? What is owed? Why? Why would you do that to your soul? Why would you do that to your country? Right? Why would you want to deny your country an economic boost by giving us reparations? You say, hey, these people, they just gonna spend all the money. Is that not a good thing for your economy? The one thing about black Americans that you know is that we tend to not go overseas. We tend to not spend our money in other countries. We tend to spend our money right around the street or at the freaking mall. Or we tend to start a business. We tend to help people. We tend to do things like that. So if you give us the money, at least it'll stay right here. At least it'll stay right here. You give it to the Asian community, it may go over to China. It may go over to freaking Japan. You don't know. You don't know. You give it to the Hispanic community, it might go in Mexico. You don't know where it's gonna. You don't know where that's gonna go. But you give it to us, we tend to stay right here and spend the money right here. And the one thing that people haven't been noticing is that there are certain people within those communities who are actually supporting us getting reparations. Like, for example, a lot of Asian groups have come forward and says, hey, Joe Biden, pay these people. A lot of Jewish groups reclaiming, it's called Reclamation Judaism. It represents over 70,000 Jewish people. They have come out and said, hey, we support reparations for black Americans. I would like for them to say foundational black Americans or the black descendants of American slaves, but still, they said that because they understand they own a lot of businesses, right? They own a lot of businesses within the black community. A lot of, just for example, they have a Johnny the Joker. I would love to have you on. I'm gonna give you an invite. I want you to just have a conversation. That's all. But again, if you give us the money, it will stimulate the economy because we tend to not spend money outside the U.S. economy. We are one of the only groups that's like that. We're one of the only groups who props up parts of the Asian community with their hair salons, with their Chinese restaurants, their nail shops. Their nail shops, they make a bucket load off of black women. So why would they not want us to get that kind of cash when they know what's going to happen? Do you know how much a weave costs? Yes, there's no Asian shop owner who owns one of those stores, right? Who's going to be against that? It makes sense as to the reason why they're coming out saying, yeah, yeah, pay these people because it's going to benefit them. Why would you be against that? Why would you be against that? Why would you be against the U.S. economy getting a cash inflection? And um, Brona Zpam says, bro has an Angolan flag. No, this is a Black American heritage flag. Wow, that's. I really, really hope you do your research. This is a Black American heritage flag. It's for Black Americans. It's in history books. They sell these in stores. I actually met the daughter of the person who actually made the flag. So, um, he meant in the comments. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize. I must have misheard that. But again, every sorry, it's a made up flag. No, I mean aren't all flags like made up? But the thing is that again, when it comes to Black Americans giving us reparations, right? It will boost the U.S. economy. And even if you think we're gonna go broke, we're gonna go broke. Here's the thing, right? Right? Here's the thing. It's still gonna boost the U.S. economy. Again, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. But again, even if you say that's gonna happen, it's still gonna boost the U.S. economy. So why would you not do it? Why would you not do that? And I want you guys to know something, right? So Shino, the guy that I just blocked from this live stream, I actually bronze Pam. Okay, I can't invite you on, so you don't have live stream capability on. So I got to get you. But one of the people that I just moved named Shino, right? Shino, he had a Ukrainian flag in his profile. He has no problem with us sending endless money to Ukraine, but doesn't have but totally has an issue when Black Americans get it. It doesn't make sense. Steven, I want to have a conversation. Come on. Let's talk. And when we talk, let's talk in good faith. Okay? Shino? No. Stefan. Let's have a conversation. So I get nannered for talking about school subjects, but you can talk about this. This makes no. I don't. See, this is what I'm talking about. People who come onto live streams and don't have live stream capability, but they have like thousands of followers. They tend to come in and just troll. So I don't do trolls. By the way, mods, you guys can have fun with this because I don't do trolls. I want to have a conversation. I want to understand why would people be against stimulating your own economy? Make sure you guys are tapping the stream. Why would you be against stimulating your own economy? Every other group, Jewish groups, Asian groups, Hispanic groups, they want us to get it because they understand they have a lot of businesses in our communities. Why would they be against that? They support us getting that. So you, white America, are one of the last holdouts. Every other group wants that. Why? Why would the Asian community, once again, when they know they have their beauty supply stores, right? The beauty supply stores, they have those. They have those, right? They have those. They have their beauty supply stores, right? So why would any Asian group be against us getting reparations? Of course they want us to get it because then that's going to stimulate them. That's going to stimulate them. Right? So I want you to understand every other groups, right. Every other group, let's see. Every other group out there has had an opportunity to hear us out And over time, they've come around to agree with us. Over time. And the main reason is that they realize that Black Americans are the one group that actually cares about America. Look at all the war veterans. Look at some of the most decorated war veterans ever. Henry Johnson and the Harlem Hellfighters, the Red Tails, the Moors, some of the best soldiers ever, some of the best, most decorated people ever. The people who will defend their blocks, their American blocks, like in Compton, Harlem, New York, the people who will defend their blocks, defend American soil will be those black people, the people who pay their taxes, the people who have stomped for people to come here, the people who have fed the homeless, fought injustice. Understand something. We are the one group that actually loves this country, even though this country has done nothing to love us back. So if you pay us, we will keep the money right here. And everyone knows that. The only reason why people are against that is because they feel like we are going to get a leg up over them. And you shouldn't feel that way. You should feel like your nation is paying a debt. And by paying that debt, we will turn around and stimulate your economy in a way that you've never seen before. Because it's white men who go overseas, right? Right? It's white men who go overseas and start these businesses, right? It is Asian men who go back to Asia. It is Hispanic men who goes back to Spanish-speaking countries, right? It is British men who go over to England. It is not us who leave this country. Yes, there are some of us who go over to the African continent and beyond to go and live, but most of us stay right here, and we never leave. We have this strong, especially the foundational Black American movement. We have a strong sense of patriotism. Now, many people in the leftist space may not like this, right? But many foundational Black Americans, or the Black or Black descendants of American slaves, we love this country. This is why so many of us join the military. This is why so many of us fight so hard. We push the envelope when it comes to pushing America forward, to being the moral conscience, the moral fiber of America. The old white woman was never the moral conscience of America. It was always the old black woman. The hard-working backbone steel of America was never the white man. It was always the black man. We built the railroads. We built the banking infrastructures. We built the tobacco industry. We built early agriculture. We built the White House. We built everything. Everything. And because of that, we have a strong sense of loving this country. We have a strong sense of loving this country. That's why we're like this. We love this country. And therefore, if you give us reparations, what's going to happen is we're going to stimulate this country, because we're not going to leave. We're not going to leave. Foundational Black Americans have decided universally, yeah, there's some of us who will definitely go out to other countries. But the bulk of us have decided we're going to stay right here and continue to build the country that we already built. Add some additions. We've been doing it. We just need the financial capital to do it with. You give us the money. We don't spend the money outside of this country. We spend the money right here, and you know that. If you are saying, well, you're just gonna spend it on Jordans, you're just gonna spend it on Cadillac. Well, guess what? Those are owned by American businesses, and you will make sales. That's the one thing that we do. We spend money. Granted. But you need people to do that right now. It's the one thing you haven't tried. Mass compensating black people without us having to share it. Affirmative action was a joke, and you know it. It mostly benefits white women now. Look it up. Before you leave some trolly comment, go look it up. Because if you do, I'm going to ban you. Because it's clear you haven't looked it up. The thing is that we need the economic infrastructure to provide, housing, food, water, sanitation, healthcare. We need we need the infrastructure. We need the economic capital. We need the economic step stool, and reparations is that. Right? When in Philadelphia, you have Freedom House. The first paramedics in the country. Go look it up. The first paramedics in this country was black people out of Philadelphia called Freedom House. Go look it up. There's whole documentaries about this. We did that without reparations. You give us that. There are black nurses right now. There are black doctors right now who want to start hospitals right now. Those hospitals would have to service white people too because of federal law, but it will specialize in black care. Do you know what that would do? Do you understand what that would do? That would take an enormous burden off of the American healthcare system, because a lot of us do have pre-existing conditions that would better be served by doctors who look just like us. That would definitely allow black people to see specialist cares, because you now have hospitals that are funded. You now could have black owned and operated daycares and child care centers. So that, let's say that you got a bunch of racist white people say, oh, I don't want black people around. Okay, cool. We'll have our own daycares. Problem solved. Now what? Reparations removes all the excuses. It makes everybody happy. Business owners, they get the much needed cash influx. Homelessness is cut in half instantly. Poverty, cut in half. If you make the payment substantial enough on a federal level, cut in half. Black veterans are disproportionately amount out there on the streets, right? Homeless. You could solve that problem instantly. You could undo the horrible mistreatment of black veterans instantly. Instantly. You got black veterans who have served this country, who have been taken through the ringer. There is a federal lawsuit right now being levied by Yale University. They have 20 years of data showing that black veterans have been consistently denied VA claims. You could reverse that right now by paying reparations to those black descendants of American slaves. And we know there's a bunch of black veterans who fit that description right now, who are on the streets, who you can lift off the streets right now by giving them a hand up. It's not a handout. It's a debt owed, a debt paid. And once it's paid, hey, you're done. Pay it. Be done with it. Be done with it. Be done with it. Wipe your soul clean. Wipe your soul clean, America. Make a start. You could turn the page right now, America. You want there to be racial harmony. You want to get along, people. You want do a show of good faith. A show of good faith. Reparations is that. It's that. It is wiping your soul clean. You could actually say, hey, we are the first country to pay our black natives, our black residents en masse. You would have a leg up on Britain. The amount of money that's actually gonna be paid out, it would have a leg up on everyone. You would have moral superiority. And let me tell you something, that is great on the international stage. You have moral superiority. You would have moral superiority over China, over Russia, over everybody else. Everybody. And not only that, you would have bragging rights. You would say, listen, we are the country, right? That yes, we have done horrible things in the past. Horrible things in the past. But right now, we are putting our best foot forward. We are making amends. And that's better than China, better than Russia. Better than the UK. Better than all of them, because we know there are British politicians right now who we know for a fact has slave-owning ancestors. We know that. We know right now there are Canadian politicians who have slave-owning ancestors. So right now we can make amends right now. We can put our best foot forward. We can make things right. Go ahead and pay the money out to black descendants of American slaves, right? Right? Pay it out and be done with it. Make it substantial. Make it so much that the average person can start a at least a small business. Make it something like 300, 400,000, 500,000, and just or even more is great. You don't have that many of us here. When you actually break down the black descendants of American slaves, right? When you actually break it down, there ain't that many of us as compared to some of the black immigrants, right? No disrespect to them, but there's not that many of us. So it's not gonna be as expensive as you think it's gonna be. Right? It's not gonna be. When you actually don't include everybody else, it's absolutely a lot more affordable than what you think it's gonna be. I'm telling you. And then once that happens, do you understand what's also going to happen? For all the black immigrants who are here, we're going to look out for them. We're going to take care of them. Hey, you're already here, brother. Gotcha. It solves so many problems across the board. Across the board. Listen, we are known to invite people to the cookout, even though some people don't like that we do that. We are known to feed people on the streets. The second you give us reparations, right? Many of us are going to become altruistic. Many of us are going to become activists. We're going to solve a lot of the problems that America has ignored. I want to know, why is it that all these suspected white supremacists are so upset when they feel like black people are going to come up? Why are you so upset? Why not support? Right? Why not support? Why be upset? Why be jelly? You could be any other thing. You could be everything in the world. You decide to be jelly. Why? Why is it that so many other groups out here want to lecture us about reparations? Why? I want to hear what people have to say. What is it about reparations that has so many people upset? So many people so bothered? What is it about reparations that has so many people so bothered? I want to understand. I want to get this. I want to get it. I want to get it. I want to get it. So if you have over 1,000 followers, please come have a conversation with me. Let's talk it out. Let's talk it out. Because what I'm finding is a lot of people are very cowardly. They hide in the comment section. They hide and drop little sneak disses, but they never want to confront you directly. And I find that's very cowardly. It's very cowardly. So I want people who don't like reparations. I want you to come on and explain to me, what is it about reparations that has you so hot and bothered? What's bothering you so much? Why are you so mad? What is it about black folks getting paid that has you so upset? What is it about black folks getting paid that has you so upset? That has you hot and bothered? What is it? What is it? And no, if you got Lord in that, I don't want you hiding in the comment section. Come under your real account. No. We're not going to play these games. We're not going to play these games. They don't want black men to have money. They don't want black men to have money. They don't want us to have anything. They don't really care about us. It's like our brother MJ said. They don't really care about us. They don't really care about us. They don't want black people to have money. $100 million given to Ukraine, and they don't care. I had a guy on the last stream named Shino. Shino, that brother, this man had a Ukrainian flag in his profile, but he's saying, well, you don't deserve reparations, so you have no problem with money being sent over to a foreign country, before we get it. That's a special kind of hatred right there, man. Jason Hensley, they said that they don't care about the white man either. That's not true, Jason. That's not true. Come on, Jason. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation, kid. Pedro, let's have a conversation. I want to talk.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing, Jason? You said they don't care about white people either. We're talking about
No,
reparations. Why do you feel like that's a comment you should lead when we're having a conversation about that?
I stumbled across the chat. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention, but
Oh,
when it
oh.
said to the government not wanting to help anybody, man, they don't want to help us either.
I mean,
I promise you, they
they
don't.
did though. They did though.
Nah, they really don't.
Oh,
Man,
so
if,
you're
if
saying that
dude, if you
the
born,
government has never helped out white people?
I don't know, but
Really?
if you born broke in this country,
No, 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 no,
the
no, no, no,
government
no, no,
gonna
no,
help you.
no, 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 no. Let's not just skip past that.
I don't know
That was
what you
that was
say.
the reason why I said that.
What'd you
You're
say?
saying that government has never helped out white people?
It never helped me.
No, no, no. I'm actually that's not what I asked you, right? Did you hear what I just
I,
what I just said? I
all right,
said
go ahead
white
and tell me
people.
what you're trying to say. You're getting to a point. Tell me what that point
No,
is,
no.
because I
I
don't
said,
know.
no, sir, you're trying to
Yes, sir.
grandstand.
No, sir. I'm
Okay,
trying to let you get to
I'm
your
going to
point.
say it again. Are you saying that the government has never helped out white people? Not you, white people.
I'm saying the government ain't good for nobody.
Uh, Is that what I just asked you?
Tell me what you want me to say, buddy.
I'm asking you a question.
I'm trying
Are
to
you
answer.
saying the government has never specifically helped out white people
They've
just for
helped
being
out.
white?
They've helped white and black people, but they don't
Sir,
want to help
I'm
anybody.
asking you a question.
I've
Again,
answered it six
I'm giving
times,
you
buddy.
one more time. Okay?
All right.
One more time. Are you saying the government has never helped out black people, has never helped out white people specifically for being white?
I don't know of any such. I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me
Okay,
if they did.
well, I want you to go look up the Homestead Act. Go look it up. And then also, hold on. Before you comment, before you give some knee-jerk response, there's a
I'm
very
listening.
famous
I'm listening.
speech.
I'm waiting for
There's
you
a
to teach me
very
something.
famous speech by Dr. Martin Luther King, given in 19, I forget the year, but it's actually pinned on my channel. You can go look. There's no excuse to not see the speech. He points out about how white people, specifically white peasants, and even white people into the 60s and 70s, even into those time ranges, were given land specifically because they were white. They were not only given land, they were given instruction on how to use mechanisms to mechanize your farms. Not only that, they were giving, and again, I keep saying the phrase not only that because you're going to hear MLK say that exactly like that. Not only that, they gave them farm tools, they gave them the land and the cash, and they gave them low interest rates on any loans. So, sir, when you say that white people don't get handouts, the only reason why white people dominate the freaking West and the Midwest and the Pacific Northwest is because white people were given handouts. Black people were actually banned from states like freaking Oregon and Washington State. We were banned. That's why you have a freaking leg up. The only reason why. The only reason why.
Okay.
It was like that for generations.
I
See,
don't
hold
know
on,
that
hold
I have a
on. And
leg
hold
up.
on, wait, no, no. Because again, you don't know these things. So let me educate you. I'm from South Carolina. That's where 40% of your slaves came through the port of
I'm
Charleston.
from North
So,
Carolina,
oh,
so
wait, wait,
keep
wait.
talking.
Through the port of Charleston.
All
Okay.
right.
So I'm a direct descendant of the
Hey,
actual
hold
slave.
on.
A
Are you
direct descendant.
specifically a direct descendant?
Sir,
I'm
if
asking a
you're
question.
I'm going to tell you. Are you going to
Are you
listen?
specifically a direct descendant? Because
If
only
I'm
five
telling you that I
percent
am, if I'm
because
telling
only
you that I
five
am,
percent because only 5% of the black population at the time were slaves.
God,
So,
you're
so
lying.
no, I swear to God, look it up.
Okay, I'm going to ban you from the chat now because you're lying. You're trolling.
For giving facts,
You're not really. You say only 5% of people were
actually less than
slaves.
five
Have a
percent.
good day, sir. You are
You
a
don't like
liar. You
facts?
don't have to be listened to. No, only 5% of the black people in the country were slaves. You see what I mean there? This man is so petrified of a black man getting reparations because it's going to make white guys like him irrelevant. Irrelevant. Vitamin TLC. Let's have a conversation.
First of all, I just want to say that thank you for your work. Thank you for everything that you do. I agree with you 110%. I may not be black myself, but I have been around a lot of black people, black folk. You know what I'm saying? They accepted me. They you know what I'm saying? So my question is to you is this. Look, I'm Korean by blood.
Mhm.
Okay?
Right.
But I've been raised by black folk and they taught me and they taught me and they taught me that, oh man, they raised me. So I feel black myself. You know what I'm saying? So like
Oh no, no, don't do it. No, no, you're not gonna do a Dolazol. No, no, Jesus, brother. Hold on, wait. Let me stop you. Let me stop you. Let me pose you a question.
okay.
If I went to Japan,
Yes.
right, I can do all the Shinto religion. I can do all the Japanese martial arts. I can do anime.
Yeah.
I can be I can be your boy Yamaguchi.
Yes.
I
Yes.
I can be your boy Yamaguchi.
Yes.
You know who that is, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I could be him straight up.
Okay.
But if I look like this, it ain't gonna matter, right?
Maybe not. Yeah, okay, yeah, for sure.
No. Yes or no?
No.
Based on what you know, based on everything that you know, make a value judgment right now. Do you think that even if I was your boy Yamaguchi, I could be Negro Gucci? All right? Would it matter? Looking like this.
You know what? I would argue it really depends. Like for the perspective of the
I'm gonna ask you
people
a
that
question.
accept
Do
you.
you know? Do you know who plays for the Los Angeles Lakers? Do you know the starting five?
No.
No. There's a guy who starts at small forward named Rui Hachimura. He's half black, half Japanese.
Yes.
He's flat out said no.
Really?
Yeah, he's literally talked about the racism there. He literally says,
Okay. That's cool.
yeah. So we have to kind of trust him, right? He is kind of a famous guy. Why would he just make it up? He plays for the Japanese team, so why would he just make it up?
I mean,
And if every half black, half Japanese basketball player is saying the exact same thing over and over and over and over, it becomes better, right?
yes.
So notice how we'll have statues of Asian people here, but you don't see any statues of black people there.
Mm, mm,
Zero.
mhm.
Notice how whenever a black person moves into the neighborhood, they suddenly start YouTube channels talking about all the racism they see in Japan.
Mm,
So
mm,
no, no.
mm,
Um, I don't think that you intermingling amongst black people equates to having a lineage to slavery. And
mm.
plus, on top of that, here's the other problem that you're going to face from coming specifically from the Asian community.
Yes.
My mother and grandmother and grandfather and everyone who came before me, they paid reparations for Japanese Americans, and we never even got it.
Mm,
Imagine that.
mm,
Imagine paying taxes for people who are actively undermining you, going
mm,
against you, talking
mm.
smack about you.
Right, right,
But
right, right.
then at the same time, you're paying taxes for them to not only come into the country, not only get help to get into the country, because you don't see a whole lot of homeless Asian people. This doesn't happen.
Right.
It's like
That
you
is
don't you they speak about all the homeless Native Americans, but you know who those actually are? White people who pretended to be Native. Let's
mm,
be honest. Because again, even most natives will tell you that. Most natives will tell you most of these people who call themselves natives are actually white.
yes. Thank you.
So
Thank you, Wrecking. Thank you, Wrecking. I see you. Thank you.
yeah, TLC is cool. Yeah, we cool, but understand something. It's just like it's a very unfortunate thing when we in the black community ask for anything,
Mm,
everyone else wants to get into it, and this is why we are in the condition that we are in
mm.
because no other group does that.
I feel you.
No other group will fall on the sword for others like we will,
Right.
and I think y'all know that, and
That's
you take advantage of that, and it's really
mm,
unfortunate. Because
yeah.
no other group is just going to accept you like that.
Right.
But we don't have a problem with that. It's just again when it's time for us to get our chips, we can't share, man.
Mm,
Like, bro, you're talking about a community who is disproportionately the homeless in terms of veterans and just homeless in general.
that's true. That is.
Disproportionately the amount of the freaking impoverished. Disproportionately the amount in freaking Section 8. Disproportionately the amount on freaking food stamps. Disproportionately the amount who won't even make it out of a hospital if you have
Come
a
on now.
kid.
Come on now.
So, I mean,
Yep.
so yeah,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
brother, we need the money to get the infrastructure to build up what
Yes.
we got to get going. And once
Yes.
that happens, you understand that with us having the kind of mindset that we have, we're not going to just let white supremacists abuse people who are non-white just like you. We're not going to just let that happen,
mm,
right?
mm,
So people have to realize that if we are allowed to build up what we got to build up,
mm,
what's gonna end up happening is we have more of a camaraderie with the Asian man or the Hispanic man, or just for example the Australian Aborigine man. We have more of a camaraderie with those folks than we do with the white community. So it's
mm,
going to be a mutual
mm,
a net gain and a mutual benefit for you
mm, mm,
in
mm,
in the long term. Because let's keep it a buck. One of the only reasons why people who are non-white are even in this country, besides us, is because
mm.
because we actually fought for it, which
Okay.
shows you our pattern. We'll
Okay.
look out for you,
Yep.
but
Yep.
we
Yep.
got to build up our own infrastructure. We
That's
gotta
right.
we gotta look out for us just for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
No offense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you? I mean, you can go ahead and talk. I get it, man. I get it. If you don't agree, I get it.
No,
You know.
I actually, I wholly agree. Actually, 100%. Like, I needed to learn that different perspective in order for me to, you know what I'm saying? Because look, I'm about the people. Look, I'm a human variant. Okay. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate everyone, appreciate everything. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to stand firm for what you are actually saying. So I wholly agree 100%. But I just wanted to like pose the question because you know what I'm saying, like I really needed to. I'm a seeker.
Yeah.
I'm a seeker. You know what I'm saying? I want wisdom, I want knowledge, I want understanding, and I know that you embody and you hold a lot of that. Like I'm, you know what I'm saying? So thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna step down. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But you know, I just wanted to pose that question because
Right.
you know, yeah.
I
So
get it, bro. I
yeah.
get it.
So,
It's cool, man. It's cool. But the one thing that we have to do is definitely build up our own community, and then it's gonna be a net benefit for the Asian community too, because we all know the Asian community has a lot
oh
of
my God,
businesses within the
it's
black
so
community,
true.
so
It's
it's
so
gonna be a net
true.
benefit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
a net
yeah.
benefit, especially think. Hold on. Think about this: the people who do nails and do them weaves. Oh, they gonna make bread. Oh, they gonna make bread, and they know that. So
Come
so
on
that's why
now.
they actually support us.
Yes. Yeah.
They support us. Yeah,
I love
they
you,
they,
man.
they, they
I
they
love you.
support us. So again, but what the Asian community has to also accept is that we're going to also build our own businesses. That doesn't mean that we will all stop buying at yours, but that we have to also keep some of those black dollars within our own communities, so that now the Asian business owner doesn't have to pay taxes to support homelessness, right?
Wow.
Right.
So true.
So it works
Yes.
out better for everybody if
It's
we can be
capital.
self-sufficient and actually support ourselves. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's
So it
bottom
works out.
line is money. Nobody actually really gives a fuck unless, yeah, you know, we about the people. And so, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anyway, I'm gonna step down. Thank you so
Go ahead,
much
brother.
for. I'm still gonna pay attention. I'm still listening to you. Thank you so
Right.
much for all that you do. Like I know it takes. Oh my God, it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of courage to do what you do. So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to,
Right.
come on here and just encourage you because thank you so much because you actually helped me be more comfortable in my skin. You know what I'm saying? In my community to be able to reach out and do what I do. You actually helped me do that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So thank you.
Thank
Anyways, let me
you.
sit down. No, thank you.
Be safe,
No,
brother.
thank you.
Be safe, brother.
Alrighty.
Bye bye. All right, all right. That was nice. All right, thank you so much. Hey, listen, so I want to have a conversation with. I invited someone on, and I want to have a conversation about. They said the first slaves were Christians, and let's
Right.
talk. How you doing,
I'm
Autumn?
sorry. Hello?
Hello, how you doing?
Okay. Yeah, now I can hear you. Now, I'm not
Yes.
coming on here to argue or nothing like that, but reparations is one thing, but you can't um, specify one group of people because it wasn't just blacks that were sold into slavery, it was you
Okay.
white Christians.
Can I actually just slow you down a little bit? You said
Okay.
something that was interesting in the chat. You said the first slaves were Christians.
White Christians. Yes.
The first slaves in history.
Yes.
All right. So I'm not going to debate you on that. I'm just want to ask you, where did you see that? I'm very curious.
Well, I mean, if you look at the history books, where do you think the pirates, where they got their slaves?
What history books?
The same history books that you were brought up on.
On the last stream, I had a older gentleman who said something very
Uh-huh.
similar when I asked him about Irish slaves, and I said, "Hey, he was saying that most black people in the country weren't slaves, and there was like 5%." I was like, "What?" I'm like, "That's my family, that's my lineage. How can you tell me that my family photos are in a family tree
Right.
and all of this is a lot?" But
Uh-huh.
he said something. He said the exact same thing that you just said, the exact same phrase, and the exact same way that you said it.
Really?
Do you find
Well,
that concerning?
no, not really. I mean, it just shows that I'm not the only, poorly educated in all fields of history, and I really regret that I didn't pay better attention. But ever
Okay.
since all of this has come out, I did start to look into it and read a little bit about it.
Okay,
And
so
it's
so
just
are you?
fascinating that, actually the blacks were the first to sell their own people into slavery.
Oh, oh,
Yes.
where did you read that? Oh, I think she's gone. Uh, Autumn. Hey, Blackwing. What are you doing, bro? I need her back. I need her back. I need her back. Blackwing. No, I need her back, man. I need her back because I want to probe that a little bit. I want to probe that a little bit. I want her back. I need her here. I need her here, man. No, I need her here because again, I think she was serious. And that's the part of it that was interesting. I think she was serious. I needed this here because I wanted black people to see this, to see what you're actually up against, to see how easily you can defeat this terrible logic if you simply just try. And it's terrible logic. It's logic that, oh Lord. No, 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 no. But Black Queen, I really, really wanted her here. I wanted her here. I did. I did. You know, Lefty Jones, I want you here too. I want Lefty Jones here too. Lefty Jones, all of them. I want to have a conversation because again, I want to understand why there's so many white people out here who are saying this silly stuff, understanding that this is not going to discourage us. But it also shows up, right? Bring a panel up. Let's see. Guess. Let's bring a panel up. So let's do a panel. Yeah. Yeah, let's bring on Blackwing. All right, Blackwing.
I don't give a damn. You wanted her, but it won't stay no.
Wow.
Once she said it was
No,
black,
Blackwing, let her stay, man.
I was done.
Let
I
let
was
her no,
done.
no, let her stay. You wanna know why? Because that was important for us to get it out there so that I could redirect it. Let me work with her because she was open to redirection. She was open to it, right?
ACAP.
She was
Here's the
admitting that
ACAP.
if she was
Let me say
poorly
no, no,
educated,
no, no, bro. Let me say this real talk.
that wasn't for
Can
your
I
feelings.
explain?
That
Can
was
I
for the
explain to the
audience to
audience what?
understand.
Can I explain to the audience what reparations is? They don't know about the Big Four. They really don't know about the Big Four. That's what generational reparations is. The Big Four is this: housing, healthcare, transportation, and education. The reason I put
I mean,
education
you gotta add
last
cash,
because
man. You gotta add cash, bro. You gotta add cash.
no. Here's the thing: you think it only a cash amount, but guess what? Here's the thing: though, I'm talking about
Yeah,
generational. Here's the thing: if we
yeah.
basically,
And guess what? The
if
cash can build that up, man.
true that, but I'm going like this though: if we just spend it on bullshit, we still on bullshit. We seen what happened with the stimulus check. We seen
Listen,
what happened with the
listen.
stimulus check.
This argument about us spending on things that's called pocket watching. We can't be doing that. It's just not about building up generational wealth. It's about paying a debt owed. Reparations, when you look up the literal definition of it, it's not about that, man. It's about a debt owed to a specific group of people in this country. It's not about our feelings. It's not about our interpretations or even activism. It's about a blood debt. A blood debt. Again, if I experienced a hurricane, right? And there are people in Haiti who also experience a hurricane. So I experienced a hurricane at different stages and also at at different places. Do I now get to go over to Haiti and ask them for hurricane relief money because I experienced a hurricane in my lifetime and I'm also black? It doesn't make sense.
But here's the thing, people. Let me say this, ACAB. Let me say this for real talk. The reason I'm saying basically the big four. This is Dr. Philip and Dr. Neely Fuller Jr.'s ideal. This is Dr. Jane Ricard. I tagged you in these videos that I sent you. I tagged you in these
And
videos.
actually, a lot of those people have made statements on the record about cash. On the
Okay,
record.
I do admit that, but I'm going like this though. Even here's the thing. Even basically, Dr. Lily Fuller said you can't just give a person a amount because guess what? If you the only cash the only thing that cash can do is spend it. Cash don't have a
Yeah,
cash don't have an owner. It has a spender. That's all it has. So I'm going like this. It's just
right.
based on the fact of this, right?
You
I'm
spend the
thinking more
money to
along the
become the
lines of
owner.
10 years. I'm living
I'm
along the lines
buying
of
a
10
farm right
years.
now, bro. I'm buying a farm right now. Do you understand how I did that? I didn't do that by getting education, by getting all this transfer. I get it. I did it with cash, bro.
All I'm
Cash.
saying, all I'm saying is this: I'd rather have land than basically just have a cash amount. I'd rather have basically my schools up to
You can
par.
buy the land.
I'd rather have my schools up to par than basically anything else. I'd rather have a way to get to a job and back than basically deal with half the bullshit that basically giving us a fucking check. Because all they're gonna do is basically give us a certain amount. It won't be the amount that basically we thinking of because they owe us
Okay.
trillions of
It's
dollars.
a start.
So I'm going like this: the check will be worse than the stimulus check. And let's keep it real.
Okay.
But if they
Okay.
have
And guess what? And guess what? And guess what? Was you fighting that stimulus check that hard when you were spending it? Yes or no?
Dude, the only thing, but here's the thing: I spend my stimulus check on an apartment.
That was the
I spend
question.
my stimulus check on an apartment. I didn't spend it on frivolous shit. I spend my three
Okay,
damn
but
checks
you
and plus my basically
give
my
other
tax
people
return
the opportunity to do that. That
on
is not
land.
your choice to make. This is called hating, man. This is called hating. Don't be looking at somebody else's payday and be like, I don't. Well, y'all gonna spend on boot. You don't know that, and that is not your call to make. When you go to a court, listen, there is not a single court proceeding you can show me, not a single one, where the judge that says, hold on, hey, you might spend the restitution money on something that I don't like, so you can't get it. No, that's not how it works. When you
You know they
owe a
will
debt, you
eventually do
pay
that
it.
shit. You know they will eventually do that shit.
No, they don't.
Let's
They don't. They don't, though. Based on legal precedent, they don't. And I know this as a former correction officer and my wife who does court reporting. I know that. I've seen transcripts. I see them almost every day. And I can tell you, no, they don't.
getting back to the guest though, I'm just saying though, getting back to the guest and the guest before that, I'm no guest like two guests before that before shit frozen. Let me say this for real talk. I'm literally saying this without a shadow of a doubt. It would actually benefit this country if they paid us reparations. If they paid us that full amount, think about it. The housing market will go up, jobs will be created, education will be up to par, transportation we will find a cleaner resource, and guess what? We will have a decent healthcare industry because guess what? Many basically women of color are entering the medical field. There are more black nurses and doctors than anything else.
Yeah. But guess what? We need the capital to make that happen. That's just what it is, man. There's no other way around it. That's the one thing that we've been lacking in the black community is capital, hard financial influence, hard financial capital. This is why reparations have to be paid in cash. Here's why. Here's why. Because when it comes to every other group, no one has an issue no one has an issue with them getting large buckets of cash. We can't rely on the government to give us reliable housing. We can't rely on the government to give us reliable land that's actually usable, that they won't just no knock grade or just some kind of swampland. We can't rely on that. So what again, the freaking Ukrainians, when they came here, they could rely on good land. They could rely on transportation. They could rely on cash payments every single month. We can't rely on that. The only thing that we can rely on right now is pay me up front because that is street rules. That is street rules. That is street rules. You go on the street right now and you gotta pick a rep for not paying back. They're gonna ask for doggone cash up front. No one's gonna trust you. If you have bad credit, cash up front. So guess what? We're telling America, hey, we understand you can build housing, you do it for every other group. But guess what? We don't trust you because your social credit is trash. So cash up front.
Good afternoon,
Yeah,
gentlemen. Hey, D.
maybe I'm
I'm sorry.
mistaken.
D. D,
I wait a little bit.
take a breath. Take a breath, bro.
Woo,
B
sorry.
Dub, my brother. I got one question for you. Since you saying you want land, name me one goddamn treaty that the United States has ever honored.
I've won. Not a one. Not at all.
All
I'm
right.
just saying they've been.
So why the fuck do I want some goddamn land when I could take that same cash, cold hard cash, and buy my own land wherever the fuck I see fit? You feel me
Yep.
on that one, B Dub?
Yeah, I feel you on that, but I'm just saying though. I'm just looking at basically up for us in 10 years. I'm literally saying
I
if they
mean, I
actually, because
understand that you're trying to.
You know, California basically is trying to do that with their task force right now to pay Californian blacks basically reparations. So I'm going like this
Right.
is just basically the fact that this
I
right, the one
understand
that
that.
really
I
needs the
understand that,
only
B
reason the
Dub.
only real the real state that really need to do it is the Bible Belt. That's the real need because guess why? They were the first ones to
Hey,
participate in this shit.
and guess what?
Listen,
And some of
whoever can
us are
get
in
to it
that
first, they
Bible
can get to
belt
it
too,
first.
bro.
Listen. I'm gonna break it down to you just like this, right? I don't care if your man hit my man on the freaking East Coast. I'm coming back for you on the freaking West Coast if I got to. Okay, so I don't care who gets to it first. Whoever is willing to pay, whoever's going to cut the check, let them cut the check. I want it from every state, every territory, federal government too,
Cut
all of them.
the check,
Cut the
cash.
check, all of
Pay
you.
me my monies.
And when we're done with these state and local governments, and also the federal government, we're going after these private companies too. Johnson and Johnson, all of
Oh
you,
yeah,
everybody,
definitely.
every one of you who profited off of the backs of my people, I want my check. Pay
I
us.
have a question. I have a question, fellas.
Go ahead.
With everything that's being said, the, I was watching something actually last night about this exact thing, and a couple of black scholars put up the numbers and said it would probably send the U.S. into the dark ages if they were to give it, because if you're looking at the valuation of our dollar now, of the money
Mm-hmm.
now, it would
Mm-hmm.
send the U.S. into the dark ages if they were to give reparations
Can I
to
ask you a question?
us.
Can I
Yes,
can
sir.
I can I can I ask you a question? When they passed the Civil Rights Bill, what
Hmm.
was said then?
Oh no, I'm not against anything.
No, no,
No,
no, no. I'm just saying.
well, I'm not.
And what would be the dark ages? Like
I'm not
basically black
being
people getting generational wealth? Like
No,
seriously,
they're saying
here's the thing.
no. I'm
no,
talking about
I'm not being
they're
adversarial.
speaking
I mean,
about in a sense of
I'm doing
it
this
would
for the
Hey
send.
audience.
guys, don't
Sorry, I couldn't
overtalk
hear you.
one another, please.
Right, right. I wasn't trying to be like adversarial, brother. I was just doing that for the audience, right? So,
Yeah.
because again, I want us to see how common knowledge a lot of these counterpoints actually are, right? So, if you understand that throughout every period, there's never been a point in which black people were ever going to come up or get some kind of right, some kind of tangible,
Hmm.
whereas whereas white people in the majority were not against it. That was the every case when the Civil Rights Act first came out. The vast majority of black of white America was against it. The vast majority of white America thought that MLK was an agitator, a bad guy.
Right.
So understand these are their sons, daughters, and great granddaughters and
Hmm.
great grandsons that we are dealing with. These folks don't care about how much you think the U.S. economy is going to freaking sink because right now, if they care so much about that, they will stop funding Ukraine right now.
Oh, absolutely. I listen. I'm with you 100%. So to finish what I was saying is that they say
Sure.
that it would send the U.S. into the dark ages, but it's the same thing. My point to that was it. If that would send the U.S. into the dark ages, the same thing would happen if every black person didn't go to work.
Right.
It would crash the economy.
Right.
It would it legitimately would, and then they demanded, if we as a people sat back and said, "Oh no, for us to go to work, we demand this." Oh, they wouldn't know how things would completely. This is how you have to, if you effectively want something, you have to hit them where it hurts. That is in their pockets, in their companies. They're willing to come to a negotiation table. Do you know I've literally thought about this. All it takes is 2 days. every major manufacturing company will be in peril. Every business, because we do most of the actual labor. Those are our job. We take the sales. We make the phone calls. They don't have the people to be able to do it. And those people, like I said, they don't want to do the type of work that we've been doing. So let us, just like how they stopped taking the bus in the 60s, guess what? Why don't we just stop going to work? 2, 3
Actually,
days, see what happens.
Can I say
we
something? Peace.
go ahead.
Yeah, we need to stop working for them, and we need to organize and use these outlets and come together and start working with us. And I would say to respond to you, like, just ask you a question just for the audience. It's like, what number, if you had to put a number on what you think they will owe us, or what they would consider to be the dark ages, what would you say? What number would it be?
You're speaking to me, bro, or to
Yeah,
the?
yeah.
Okay.
Speaking.
So from what they've calculated, it's somewhere near $50 trillion, somewhere in that in that neighborhood.
So that's cap, and I'm saying not that what you're saying is cap, but I'm saying what they're saying is cap,
Right.
because there's a thing called the Depository Trust Company, the DTC, and
Right.
they advertise the fact that they hold 65 quadrillion, with a
Right.
QUAD trillion. So this whole trillions thing, that's fluff.
Right, but I
That's
mean,
propaganda.
I'm just going to tell you what I think that would be old. If I think it was something like, it would be like, so it would actually be less than that if they was to sit back and give every black person in America, let's say $1 million. The percentage
That's
it
If
would
they gave if they gave 100 million to every black person in the country,
no, I
that
said
wouldn't
a
even be.
million, just one
If they
million.
gave 100 million, I
Oh,
know what I'm saying.
okay.
If they gave every black person in America $100 million, it still would not surpass the amount
Here,
of money that we spent
here's
last
what
year
I'm thinking.
alone just in military spending.
right. And
Here's what
on
I'm
top of that,
thinking.
a lot of
Here's what
these
I'm
numbers.
thinking. They basically, if they gave us
But
that check, the reason they say they'll basically be in the dark ages, we'll probably go back to Africa.
Yes,
no,
yes,
hold
we
on,
would take the
wait,
money
guys,
and
guys,
then
wait,
leave
wait,
the
wait.
U.S.
There's a lot of numbers being thrown around here. I don't think people, because again, it's very easy when you're talking about American dollars and American tax spending. It's very easy to get lost in the weeds. Only 6% of Californians, what we're talking about right now, are going to call about reparations. And there's not going to be a lot of people, if we keep it lineage based, it's not going to be a lot of people that qualify for it. It's actually going to cut the list almost in half.
Right,
So
but
again,
because you have to trace it down.
yeah. So now people, they again, and I understand people are being upset about that. What the thing that I have to explain to those people is that you're already asking every silly question under the sun when it's lineage based. We open it up. Imagine what you're gonna do. Stop acting like the way that you're acting, and maybe people could trust you because you're already like, well, okay, it's lineage based, but what about if my cat was black, or if my uncle was black, if my uncle's sister cousin was black? You're already doing it now when it's lineage based. The second that we open it up to the whole entire African diaspora, that's how white people get in.
Here's the
No,
lineage based shit. Here's the lineage based though. Jackson, Jefferson, William, Walker, McGee, Ellis. This is two to make up. These are all damn common black names. Jackson. Did I say Jackson already?
yeah,
Yeah,
Um,
you said Jackson, bro.
okay,
Yeah.
I said Jackson already.
Do you know? I just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, bro.
I'm trying to come with the combination for black folks. So this is two to make up. I know
Brown.
William Brown. I know it's. I think Lee is another one.
Yes, it is.
Okay. And also, um, I I know it's a lot of look like McGillicuddy. No, I said McGee, but McGillicuddy is basically another one. There's a lot of black folks named McGillicuddy. Anybody with Mick in their names, basically, you know they was a slave.
right.
And, and,
The thing about that, guys, is that understand something. When it's lineage based, and again, I'm not asking for anything that Native Americans haven't already set the standard on. They literally have already set the standard. So if you have an issue with that, when you get off the stream, I want to see you go down to the next reservation that you find. Say, hey, this is actually racism. It's called this is actually divisive. You shouldn't be doing this. I'm paying tax dollars so that you can actually exclude people because they do the exact same thing based on lineage. You want to know why they do that? At one point, they did DNA tests, the five major tribes and other tribes around the country. The reason why they stopped, let me tell you the exact same, the exact reason why they stopped. Because I talked to several of the tribes. They were finding that when you check the DNA test, right, everybody's DNA is going to go back to native Africa of some sort, European, maybe a little bit of Spanish, something like that, right? It's going to go back
Right.
to all that stuff. So it has to be lineage based because if it's not lineage based, right? If it's not that, what's going to happen is you're going to open up the floodgates. Because again, we've already done this experiment with affirmative action. We've already done the experiment. When you have to make the language airtight.
But who
Airtight.
mostly benefit? Who mostly benefit from basic affirmative action when that shit got passed? We didn't.
White people.
Yeah, but B-Dub, you have to think in more of a positive direction that's conducive to our advancement. As I was saying a minute ago, there are 47 million black Americans in this country. So let's just go with, 10 million per black American. That then is what, 4 billion, 4.8 billion roughly rounded. Last year alone, bruh, we spent $877 billion just on the military alone. So I challenge your notion that by giving black people in this country reparations, that it would send us into the dark ages. Now, what I think would happen is we'd see a whole lot of black owned businesses opening up, moving us in a net positive direction. Yes, will have some, people that would misappropriate the funds and go buy a Cadillac and basically turn that money back into the system. But on the other end of that, maybe turning that money back into the system to a certain percentage or degree is something that stimulates and actually helps the economy for all Americans also. So, I mean, I understand where you're going, B Dub. And on most situations and in most platforms, I'm 100% behind you, 10 toes down. Because I do think that you try to live on code. But I do have to gently push back to you, my brother, because we are here. And now is the time where we need to be thinking of net positive directions as a community for our own advancement and our own um, stake in this country. Because believe it or not, my brother, you cannot say that America has any history without also mentioning black history, because black history is American history. We are a vital and crucial and imperative part of this country and our nation, from our spending power to our culture to our own melanin. That's who we are, bruh. And it's time for us to start stepping into our roles.
And the problem here's the thing. I totally agree with you, but the thing is, though, I'm saying this for real talk. Every time we basically get some sort of money, there's always a connection to it. Let's say this: there are many black athletes in the damn NFL and NBA. They have to sacrifice their damn bodies for white people's entertainment. I'm going like this, and they get millions of dollars. But guess what? There's some master that's sitting on his ass getting billions of dollars off his or her hard work. So I'm going
So let
like
me ask
this.
you a
This is
question. Again, I don't want to question if you're being sincere, brother. What's your lineage? Because if I find out that it's not to FBA, it looks bad, man.
brother. I'm a fourth generation Black Panther. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm asking you because again, I remember
Do
you
you
telling me
realize I
something
come
at
from?
one point.
Do you realize I come from a damn city where the Black Panthers were formed? My
I'm I,
mother, my
that's
father,
not
my
what I asked
grandfather,
you though.
all
That's not what
Panthers.
I'm asking you though. Because at one point you did
Man,
tell
I'm
me
FBA.
that
I'm
you have a
FBA
lineage
to the bone.
outside of
I'm
here,
Foundation
which is
Black America to
fine.
the
I'm
bone.
I'm fine. I'm fine with that. But my thing is that understand something. I'm going to spell it out plainly and clearly. The debt was owed because of chattel slavery here up until a certain point. I'm not saying that money shouldn't be paid out for points after that, but for this specific debt, it's for that point. That's why the lineage thing comes into play, because if you could trace your lineage to somebody who came from that time period, that's why it's like that. Because once again, that debt being paid to us specifically as a lineage, as an ethnic group. We're not just a lineage, we are an ethnic group. So when you go against lineage-based stuff, you're going against the ethnic group. So that's where we have to part ways. Because I would never go over to anyone else's country. I wouldn't go over to the Caribbean. I wouldn't go over to Democratic Republic of Congo. I wouldn't go over to Nigeria or Sudan or any other place. And I wouldn't say, hey, why in the world can't I get exactly what you get when I just arrived here? Or my family came here. Why can't I be a part of this tribe so that I can get this and that and this and that? Like again, when I gave the Hurricane Hugo example, when I experienced Hurricane Hugo as a child, I can't go over to the Caribbean now and say, hey, you guys got hurricane relief money. I experienced a hurricane. I'm black too. Give me some money. They would look at me like I'm damn crazy, and they should. There's a lineage here. You have so many black immigrants who come to this country who will tell us we don't know the story.
These
Fine,
are
if you
five
don't know
black.
the
Here's the thing.
story,
These are five black people of color, and I'm saying this for real talk. I'm saying what I'm really saying. What is basically we need generational reparations. That's what we need. We can't. Here's the thing. Yes, I want that money as much as anybody because I grew up in a damn housing projects. I grew up in there, and I would love to see that money come in my damn pocket. I would love to see that money come in my pocket. But the thing is, though, one thing that we ain't got that these white supremacists got, guess what? They got better money management, and you gotta admit that shit.
because they've always had it. They've always had it. It's not that Elon Musk is a better manager of freaking money. He's the richest man on earth. This man lost over $200 billion in one day. Don't you tell me about how white people have great money freaking management. You know how many white banks are freaking bankrupt? It's not black banks getting freaking bankrupt.
Exactly. That means here's the thing. I'm
them.
saying
So
this.
it's
The
not
reason
that
I
we have
said better
bad
money management, they got a
We have
team
been
to
economically
bail them out when they
deprived.
fuck up. They
We've
got
been
a team
economically
to bail them out when
deprived.
they
It's
fuck
not
up.
that we don't know how to manage money. We've been economically deprived. When you never had money, you can't manage it because you never had it. That's like saying, hey,
Exactly. You took the word straight out of my mouth.
be a freaking chicken. No. You can manage money. Just give it to them. Just give it to
Again,
them.
B Dub, B
Here's the thing.
Dub, bro.
All I want is basically this for us as black people. This is just too soon to make up. We had our own economy. We had our own thriving economy. Guess what happened to it? Burned down
Let
to a
me ask you
crisp.
a question. Black Wall Street, could they manage money?
Yes, because they had a thriving community.
So the
Tulsa,
problem
Oklahoma was
isn't
strictly
money
black.
management. The problem isn't money management. The problem is economic deprivation and undermining and people destroying things when we build it. That's the problem. So again, all the lectures, all the talks about economic literacy is pointless if they burn down Black Wall Street again, right? So again, the problem has never been us. It is again, this is one of the things that foundational Black Americans or people who are the actual Black natives here, we struggle with the African diaspora on. You guys have this thing, many of you have this thing, whereas no matter what, you default to blaming us in some way. And again, you're going to argue against that. You're going to push back against that. But you are. I'm telling you, there is no way in which you come out saying it is white supremacy. It has not been
Exactly.
us. It has not been.
Facts.
It's not been money management. It's not been a lack of education. It's been economic deprivation by the white supremacists. In every case,
Facts.
I
we have
totally
pulled
agree with
ourselves
you,
up out of
bro.
bootstraps
I
in multiple
totally
places.
agree with
It
you, man.
doesn't matter about money management. I know chicks from the hood. My mother, Jacinta Rhines Reed, she passed away about a year and a half ago. She passed away. She would pick me up, me and my brothers, on Saturdays and Sundays. She would drive around, and she would drive around to rich white neighborhoods, and a place called East Shore, Forest Acres. It was these mansions. She would pick up old memorabilia, like antiques and collectibles, and she would go to the flea market and she would sell it. And she make like $1,000 a salary back in the freaking 90s when that was a freaking $1,000 in a freaking day. She did that. She hustled. She was a chick from the hood who had her first chick, who actually had her first child at 15 years old. And yet she started her own business, her own side hustle without reparations. Every example that I've seen in my personal life is strong black women and men who, if you gave them that kind of cash influx, they would dominate the market. Dominate it.
Exactly. Bruh, we've been rubbing two
And that's what
nickels
they
together to
scared
make a
of. And
dime.
that's what they scared of.
Bruh, we've
But
been rubbing
but
two nickels together to make a dime our entire existence in this country.
Yeah.
So why can't you open up your heart, your mind, your eyes to the fact that we've been doing it with less, without having? So why not give it to us and let us and see what the magic that black women and black people as a whole can work?
And guess
Because
what,
believe it
brother?
or not, B-Dub, we magical, bruh.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I want you to think about, brother. You are working a 9 to 5, slaving every day, and you already paying taxes, right? On Ukraine and everything else, right, brother? Let's be honest. Yes, some of us lose sleep, but do you really think about it every waking moment? You don't. So when we get paid, don't think about it every waking moment. Think of it as no different than any other group getting freaking broke off because they usually do over us.
Think about it from this other
Yeah, I'm
perspective
yeah, but
also.
I like to
We have
say,
a failing banking industry right now. Where are you most likely going to put your bank or your money once you get your check? In a bank. So maybe that's a move to save our whole economy by us putting our money in the banks. And if you give us enough, guess what? I can live very happily on the interest alone.
Yep. Listen. You know how many black farmers? Listen. Do you understand? And just to also push back on something else. A lot of us would not trick off the money. A lot of us would do well with it because if
Hmm.
that were not a case, why are black farmers suing the government? Oh, so if you gave those
Exactly.
same black farmers an actual cash influx, what would happen? They wouldn't have to go to the federal government asking for freaking loans anymore. They would just have the cash.
Okay,
Boom.
ACAP. Here's the thing.
Done.
ACAP. Here's the thing, though. The three people I just blocked and the three people I just muted. Let me say this for all your palm colored people. If you got some balls to basically say that basically we're asking for a welfare check, because I just basically saw that shit, and this is
Go
choosing
ahead.
to make up this. This is the reason why basically I want generational reparations. This is just look at the comments alone. Here's one thing though. If I hear one person saying a welfare check one more fucking time, if you got $1,000, get your ass in the box. You got some balls to basically say it on the chat room. I'll drop off and basically let my family handle your ass.
Oh yeah, we're gonna bring some people on. Katie,
Hi,
Richie,
hi,
and before y'all, hey, guys, we want to give some other people a chance to speak. Before all, how you doing?
how you doing? How you doing? I have saw your videos in the past, and I said one day I'm gonna jump on this panel so we can have the conversation about reparations. I'm not sure if you know me, but I'm not really like too much on this app because I talk about these subjects as well.
We all not.
Yeah, I talk about this subject as well when it comes to reparations and what is owed, and us telling our stories, our ancestors' stories individually. And I've noticed that we all have different stories when it comes to bloodlines and things like that. Some of us are descendants of black nobles from Europe, Ireland, all these different places. So just going and tracking your ancestors and understanding the stories. I mean, when it comes to reparations, I feel like it is old, and we are owed way more than has been placed. These numbers, we are owed triple than what they're offering.
Right.
And I am
I
from
feel you. I feel you.
Louisiana. I come from that standpoint. Um,
Okay. I feel you. I feel you. So you got a little bit of Cajun in you? A tiny little bit? Or no?
I'm Creole.
Creole. Oh yeah. So you know how to cook then. You better. You better.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Every black woman I've met from Louisiana or South Carolina know how to cook, man. It's crazy. People don't realize it. Like basically everyone doesn't realize how good the food is there until you actually go there and you get so
Hmm.
fat.
Yeah, in the summertime, and you gonna regret it eating all that food during the spring and during the winter. That's for sure.
Oh, I can hear the Creole. I can hear the accent now. See, people. I want you guys to also note something, right? So I have a South Carolina type of accent. Clax, I'm not sure where his accent comes from, but Black Wing, he also has a different type of accent. People think that every black person is the same, but we have different accents
AK,
based
put your
on
mic on
region.
mute.
AKA Superman. Yeah, put your mic on mute, brother. There we go. I got you. But basically, black folks, we have different accents based on our region. So in Philadelphia, you will hear a black person sound completely different than what you'll hear in like New York or even like California. You might hear a black woman in California sound like a freaking Valley girl. You might hear a black woman in Washington State in like Seattle sound like she from like freaking Canada. So we do have different accents based on our regions. This is why Black Americans have been fighting so hard to get our own separate lineage and our own separate tribal group, because we are so distinct. You won't find a guy who sounds like a guy from Philly in the African diaspora. If that person's family has been linked to Philly for generations, you just won't find somebody else who sounds like that. Or even when you go over to South Carolina and you hear the Gullah Geechee, yeah, they sound similar to somebody who lives in the islands, but they are not the same. They are not the same. You go over to Texas and you'll hear black people sound like cowboys. Hey, how y'all doing? They will sound like that. So we are different and diverse as a group, as an ethnic group.
Kind of like Randy Moss.
Right.
No, that was a joke.
Me, I'm from the Bay Area. Here's the thing. When we talk basically when we talking, we sound like basically like we talking hella fast, like we like some auctioneers or something like that. But you ever come down to the Bay Area, every slang that you know, every damn saying that you know today came from the Bay.
Right. So I think a lot of it came from South Carolina, like especially like a lot of the hip hop, a lot of the rapping and rhyming words. It definitely that has a long, deep history to the South and the Southern churches and the chain gangs and just black folks in general who just wanted to give a way to communicate.
Yeah.
But
People got to realize that in Louisiana we speak in the tongues of Irish background, Britain, and all these different groups that settled there. So when people hear me talk, it's almost like I really had to learn how to slow down my dialect, because when I talk really fast, they say I sound like I'm from the island or something. So I had to slow my talking down on this app. But I told Kathy to come up to the panel because she kept asking who's going to pay for the reparations. So,
Katie, is it Katie Ritchie?
Katie,
I'm sorry about that.
Katie.
I'm sorry, I totally ignored. I apologize, Katie. You had a question about reparations?
Yeah. Hi, y'all. I'm Katie.
How you doing?
I just I'm trying to absorb information. Like I believe, like I was taught, like if you're gonna bitch about something, like make sure you have a solution to it. So, like, yes, are reparations like well deserved and needed actually to maybe heal some wounds in our country? Yeah, but who actually pays that? And like, where does it come from? Somebody said the government. Okay, but if that becomes taxation, how are people that generations were wounded in the slave trade not paying that themselves? What's the solution here?
Okay. Can I ask you a question? Do you think it's fair that my grandmother and grandfather paid reparations to Japanese Americans? It's really a yes or no.
No, it depends on the climate, because
it's really a yes or no. The climate. Whoa. Pause. You think there's a climate that has to be correct in order to pay money to people that you enslaved?
That's not what I'm saying. That's not saying.
Well, then what are you saying?
Can you let me finish? I'm not saying you deserve it over somebody else. It's like, let's think about the way people thought during the slave trade, and then let's see what we did to the Asians in our own country during that time period. We're both equally wronged, yes, extensively. But also,
how many Asians were in this country during that time?
Hey, Cap. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna repeat this one more time, because I just learned about a few people. If you got the balls and you got 1,000 followers, get your ass in the box. Katie Lisa came in the box. What she had to say. I'm going like this. If you got some bullshit to say, get your ass in the box.
Hey, B
All right.
Dub, I'm gonna need
So
you to stop
I'm not trying to
reappropriating
say
my
bullshit.
sayings or
I'm
get your
trying to like
ass in the
understand the
box.
right,
situation,
right,
honestly.
right. But let's also not be so hostile. Let's also let her again. Maybe there's a misunderstanding here. Do you think that there was a lot of Asian people that were in the country at the time that we were slaves? In this
No,
country, we're
probably
not talking
not.
about the
No,
world. In this country,
no. I would say no.
how many immigrants do you think were actually in this country before the Dred Scott decision and afterwards?
Before what? One more time. I'm sorry.
How many immigrants of any class were coming into this country before black Americans fought for them to be here? Let me rephrase the
Mm.
question.
I honestly, I would probably assume a lot. I mean, there was a lot
The
of
immigrant
immigration into the
population
country.
was negligible. It was tiny. We fought for them to come here. This is why a lot of immigrants have some of them have a camaraderie with us, but a lot of them have actually turned on us. All right, but that's the reason why. Because many of us fought for them to actually be here. Even now, if you look at the Democrat Party, right, the people who vote for Democrats at a huge high number, even though we know they're going to let in a bunch of illegal immigrants, is us. We still do it to this very day. So if you understand that, right?
I actually, believe it or not, I do have a perspective on that. I have an nanay and tatay
Well,
Filipino
no. We're gonna
grandparents
stay on the
who had to
subject though,
immigrate
on
over here to
reparations.
the U.S. I do have a perspective on that. I
But we're gonna
understand
stay on reparations though.
that. Okay.
Okay. What you say? Who's gonna pay for it?
Who pays?
Who's
Yeah,
paying
who pays?
for what's happening in Ukraine?
I'm sorry. What about
Who's paying
Ukraine?
for what happens for what's happening in Ukraine?
Who should?
That's not what I asked you. Who's paying for it?
Clearly, we are.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't
How many
understand the
homeless
context of what
Ukrainians
you're
have you
asking.
met?
Do what?
How many homeless Ukrainians have you met? Can you show me one? If you say that if you say that there are homeless Ukrainians in this country right now, because we let in over 100,000 of them. If you can show me one, I'll pay you $1,000 right now. No cap.
You're being
No cap.
hostile about something I
Let me
actually don't
explain.
know.
No, I'm not being
I don't
hostile.
know
I'm
anything
asking you a
about.
question. No,
We're
no,
Hey,
no.
talking
hey,
about
Cap,
I'm
hey,
not
Cap,
being
I got,
hostile.
hey, hey,
I'm not
Cap,
being hostile. I'm
hey,
just
Cap, I
asking you a
got this,
question.
bro. I got this, bro. Miss Kathy, I'm gonna come at you a little bit nicer. Here's the thing: would you pay for basically a better educational system?
Would I pay for a better educational system?
Mm-hmm.
Like just at general for my children?
Yes.
No, I wouldn't. I feel like it should be provided by the country or by myself. I don't think that's
But
something I should pay
how
for.
you think the country pays for it? Here's the thing: we paid 16% in taxes. So would
Okay,
you in your
taxation.
tax
Yeah, that was my question.
in
For
your taxation,
reparations, is
would
it
you?
going to come through taxation? I'm
Yes.
asking a simple question. I feel
Here's
like you
the
guys
thing.
are
Let
getting
me say that. Let me say
hostile.
this. Well, let me say this, Miss Katie. No, Miss Katie. Can I call you Miss Katie? I'm going like this.
It's just Katie, y'all.
Okay. Here's the thing though. One, right now the people that have generational wealth are not getting taxed at all. They're only getting
Who has
taxed
general?
3%.
Who has
Three
generational
percent.
welfare? Who
Oh,
has that?
here's the thing
The
though. The one
last
percent.
president for one person.
The president?
Here's the thing. The last president Here's the thing. The last president Donald Trump literally came from a damn generational family, and he did have
Okay.
slaves in his ancestry. I'm not going
Okay.
bullshit. Every president that we had, the only one I can think of that didn't have generational wealth was Barack Obama. Everybody
Okay.
else that either ran for president or literally came from a presidency came from a generational wealth family.
Okay. How can we fix that, and
What you would
how does
call
that
old
apply
money.
to modern
Hmm.
times? Is what I'm asking.
What you call baby boomer money. Here's the thing though.
Right.
Here's the thing. I will physically tax them because I've said this on KCAB's live on Benny Else's. One, we need to get this old money out of politics.
I
This
agree
old
with
money
you.
out there.
Clear them all out. Term limits.
But
I
but guys, I
100%
think we got to
agree.
refocus. Let's refocus on reparations. She
But
asked
here's the thing though.
how we're gonna pay for it.
If we gonna pay for, here's the thing. The first ones that need to be re-taxed like us, the ones that should be getting taxed 16% of them, 6%, 16% of his wealth is the 1% that's only getting taxed 3, and that would easily
But
pay for
guys,
reparations.
that doesn't answer her question. She wants to know how we're gonna actually pay for it. So let me go ahead and tell you how. We're gonna pay for it the exact same way that we paid for illegal immigrants. We have paid for people who are from Ukraine. You still haven't shown me a single homeless one. There's no homeless ones because I
don't
feed.
have a reference for that. I really don't.
I
I have
know
my own
I
feelings about it,
don't
but I have no
because I
reference.
do a lot of homeless outreach in the local area that I'm
And,
at,
and
and
that's
they actually
wonderful, and
let
that's
in
good. That's
and
perspective.
actually if I don't see them, they don't actually exist. because I actually go on the streets every day.
Okay.
Every day. So I haven't met not a single one. And do you know what I do know? I talked to social workers who have told me they've been put up in houses in Seattle, in Kent, and all over the place. And they're also having given cars. And they're given a monthly stipend. That's codified in law. When Joe Biden signed that law, right? It's actually written in there that Ukrainians get a monthly stipend until they can, quote unquote, financially sustain themselves. Whatever the hell that means.
Yeah.
This is why you don't see homeless one. This is the one issue that the Republicans actually have a leg up with black people on, because we mutually agree. Okay, so you're paying for that right now, and yet do you lose sleep over that?
No, I don't know. You educated me. I didn't know I was paying for that. I have feelings about Ukraine. I do.
Okay, but the thing is, though, you're paying for it whether you like it or not, right?
Okay. So, all right. So we say that reparations are paid through taxation.
Yeah,
How do you
it
guys
was the
not
government.
get angry about that? How
I
do
don't.
you not? Especially
I don't.
when you can trace your ancestry. So
I
it's
don't.
taken away from you, but given right back to you? Like, how
It's
are
given
you
back
not angry?
right back to me in a much higher form. It's just basically taking some money and bringing and actually paying a debt. It's again, you don't go to, let's say you have a police. I'm gonna place you. I'm gonna do something very unfair.
Okay.
I'm gonna do something very unfair to you. Do you know the reason why police don't have to protect you?
I used to be a police officer.
There is a case known as Town of Castle Rock v. Gonzalez.
Okay.
And in that case, in the U.S. Supreme Court case, the U.S. Supreme Court held that there's a woman who sued the police department, the town of Castle Rock. I believe it's in Colorado. And her ex-husband, she had a restraining order against him, and he had actually abducted her 3 children, and he took them out. And the police didn't do anything, even though they knew where the guy was. And the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that cops don't have a constitutional duty to even protect you. That is codified in law. That's codified in law. And several DeShaney v. Winnebago. You had the recent case with the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting, where the cops didn't even do anything. And in 2018, the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that cops don't have a constitutional duty to even protect you. Suppose you're in that case. Hold on, wait. Let's go back to the town of Castle Rock
Remember,
case.
I have a perspective too. I used to be a police
I understand that, but let me
Okay.
frame it.
Okay.
The town of Castle Rock case, that is not only widely accepted, even the police chiefs and sheriffs have talked about it. They understand the ruling in that case. This is why the NYPD had to actually remove the words serve and protect. They actually removed that. So suppose you're in that court case. You are the mother. Your children got abducted. You tried to sue the government, right? Suppose you're going to win that case. Suppose the judge says, I'm sorry, where is this tax dollars going to come from? You pay taxes and you're suing the government and the government's liable, but we can't pay you as a victim because you're also a victim. That is such backwards logic. You're telling a victim you can't be compensated from the government because you pay taxes.
Okay.
That's what you're saying.
And let me
You're trying to say that we shouldn't get paid, or trying to convince us that we should be angry about getting paid in tax dollars because we also pay taxes. So
Can I say this? Can I say this? Hey, can I say this real quick? Can I say this real quick?
Reparations will be paid. I asked you.
Can I say this
I
real
answered the
quick? Let me
question several
say this,
times.
Miss Katie. Miss Katie, here's the thing, though. You know, another person that need to get paid reparations. Women need to get paid reparations for basically what they went through.
We're not going to start doing this. No.
B-Dub, why you gotta
Let me
derail the
explain. Let me
reparations
explain. Let
No,
me
conversation,
explain.
bro?
Let
Bro,
me
you
explain.
derailing the
Let me
conversation.
explain.
You are
Let me
derailing,
explain
man.
before y'all jump to conclusions. I'm going like this. When it comes down to basically reparations, let me say this for real talk. When it comes down to reparations, there was a lot of minorities in this country that got fucked over. The ones that got fucked over the most was basically black women, Native
Okay, no,
Americans,
we're
and
not
black
doing this.
men.
We're not doing. Are you linked to our lineage, man? I'm gonna ask you that flat out, yes or no.
Why does that matter? I
Excuse me.
came on here
We're
to
having a
educate
conversation.
myself,
Hold on.
and I'm
Excuse me.
asking
No.
Excuse me. Blackwing, do you come from the lineage?
I come from the lineage system. My last name's Ellis. I'm going like this.
I'm
And my
asking
damn,
you
I
a
can trace my damn
question.
lineage back to the five
Can you
families.
trace your lineage to the 1876s or something close to it?
Of course, my last name's Ellis. I'm gonna come from a
Okay.
Deutsch last name.
Because I remember we were on a live stream about a year ago, and you told me something completely different, brother.
What the hell was that?
I'm gonna tell
Dude,
you
I'm
something.
saying
You
this
have been
real talk. I'm
derailing the
over here saying
conversation. You're mentioning
I actually did trace my
women with
lineage to
reparations,
basically
brother. Let me go and tell you.
one of the 10
Do
families.
you think that if you went on the streets right now of California, let's say Compton, and we were talking about reparations, and you mentioned, well, hey, women deserve it too. Do you think that they would tolerate that, or would they just stump you out?
Bruh. The reason I said that is for an example. I didn't say that for an actual. I'm saying it for an example. I'm saying this. I was going to Katie. If they paid, no, let me say this, Miss Katie, can you answer this question for me, please? If they gave
I muted
reparations
her.
to women, would you basically deny it? Because you didn't let me
When,
finish. I was going like this. You jumped to conclusions before I got my whole statement across. I'm saying this: if they gave reparations to women, mind you, it's about the exact same number as the ones that that they owe to black people and Native Americans. So I'm going like this: if they basically paid, and this is my question, if they paid reparations to women, would you say where would the money come from, or you would just cash a check?
Yes, I would, because not everybody is responsible. It's about accountability. And I was asking because it is about that. I was trying to educate myself, and I said from the get go, I agreed with it. I just wanted to know what solution y'all had in your mind to make this work out. I wanted to hear it because I can't wrap my
No,
mind
you
around
weren't.
it.
You're engaged
And
in
that is
bad
all.
faith. You were not. You were engaged in bad faith because
No,
then
you
you
want to
said why
interpret
are
facts
you
how
not?
you
Excuse me,
feel.
ma'am. You're not gonna overtalk me. You're not gonna overtalk me. You then said why are you guys not angry about this? See, that's called bad faith, ma'am. That's called bad faith.
Facts.
This is where the conversation breaks down because you can't be honest. You asked me how do we pay for it? And I asked you a very simple set of questions, and you couldn't give a yes or no, right? To a simple question. I said, do you know who is paying for the war in Ukraine right now? You couldn't answer the question because you said, well, I don't agree with it either. That wasn't what I asked you, and you kept avoiding direct questions every time, which lets me know you're not engaging in good faith. You don't want to be educated. You are time wasting troll, and time wasting trolls don't get to stay up here. So you have a good day.
Yay, bravo. Thank you. And B-Dub, bruh, again, I'm not
And that's
up
where I
here
was going
just
at.
to.
They don't want to hear things. Let me
Hey
say
man,
this.
so you just gonna overtalk me again, B-Dub?
My bad,
Damn.
my
Is
bad.
this is this the General ACAB show or is this the Blackwing Zero show, bruh? Damn, dog.
So,
At least give me the
so
same
My fault,
respect that
my
I
so
fault.
give you.
reparations is the topic, right? So well, reparations can only be repaired to from nation to nation. So it's kind of hard for people to
What?
see what reparations is gonna. Sorry about my baby crying in the back,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's hard for people to see that we don't belong to this American nation, so to speak, in their eyes. So that's where the real problem coming in at, because the original 13th Amendment clearly say we don't. Then they try to switch it up to categorize us and put us into modern slavery with the 14th Amendment, using you as an artificial person, which that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So, but we play these facades, and that's the reason why we in the situation that
With all due
Right.
respect, Omari
we in.
Bay, my brother, with all due respect, I was speaking and you chose to overtalk me.
Oh, I didn't know you were speaking. You see
At
what I'm
the
saying?
Right.
So,
at the exact same time that I was asking my brother Blackwing to allow me to speak also. But let's none of us forget that this is General ACAB's live, and he has two other people that have yet to speak. I see my
Right.
brother AKA patiently waiting. I
Right.
also see my other comrade here, Phil Webb, who's been in the box waiting to speak.
Right.
So with that,
I've been
General
inviting
ACAB, on you, bro.
AKA I've been trying to invite you to turn your mic on, man.
There we go. Y'all heard me now?
I hear you now. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. I have a question. I hear this all the time. When it comes down to reparations for us as Native Americans here in this country, there's always
Uh oh.
You froze up.
Yeah, he
Uh,
froze.
I think he froze. Uh oh. Oh, brother. I think he froze, brother. Oh man. Hey, brother. I want you to come back now. Come back. I think you froze on me. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect from him real quick. Hey, Phil, man, go ahead. Get in.
like it froze. Do y'all hear me?
Hey, Phil,
Yeah, I
man,
can I
go
can hear
ahead.
you, brother.
Get it.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, I'm here.
All right, Phil. So tell me, how do you feel about reparations as a as a concept?
Yeah. Look, I'm for it. I'm definitely for it. I just wanted to say my part on like one of the other brothers was speaking, and my question is this: like, it's always the ones like when it comes to us getting ready for something, we always take the old and try to put it with the new. So I'm saying that to say this, like people always think that we're gonna carry the old over to our new to something that's new. So with reparations, nobody's ever seen um melanin people, people of color, with any kind of happiness all at one time.
Yeah.
And if that happened all at one time, not at spells, but at one time, that's something that you never seen before. So you can't say that you would know what would happen. There will be there will be no way to gauge that because it's never happened in nobody's lifetime on this call right now. So for us to dictate the future, we're the only nation or the only people that did so. Any other culture that got reparations didn't say anything. They just took the money. But we the only ones that want to say, "Oh, we don't do this, and we don't need this, and we don't need this, and this is going to happen." So we talk ourselves out of something that's like that's good for a whole, not just one
Right.
person. It's a whole. We need to heal as a whole for one time. Let that happen. Let the wound heal the same time. If I got shot 5 times and those bullet holes heal different times, I may be sick, but if they healed at the same time, then I get better, I get stronger faster. But if they healing simultaneously by themselves, then I'm weaker the longer. So anybody that's a reparation shouldn't be paid in any kind of fashion. I don't care what kind of fashion it is. In any kind of fashion, it's weird. It's weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And
was
I have to say that.
I Phil, I want to ask you a question though, brother. I want to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
So just I agree with everything that you said. I want to offer a thought experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose for a second that for all the people who have said that we're just going to trick off the money, we're just going to spend it all, we're just going to blow it all. Suppose just for a second, for all the people who said that, how could those people say that, knowing that businesses and land and Black Wall Street and Rosewood was burned down? How do you burn down something that
Mm-hmm.
we never established?
Exactly.
So how do you feel about it's do you feel there's almost a sense of self-doubt?
Can I jump in?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
sound I'm in Michigan, and I'm just getting over the flu. I am a female. I might sound really deep. I apologize.
It's all good.
So I want to say that at first. I am so excited about. I'm almost 60 years old. I am excited about this conversation about reparations, and I will tell you why.
Right.
I do not care about the people that say, oh, they're just going to go spend it on a box of Newports. Whatever. There will always be those people with us. But there is people out there, like a bunch of us, you and I, that will take that money and invest it and build communities and rock out and build
Exactly.
generational wealth with that money.
Exactly.
Period.
And
It
there
could be
will be
way
some
more
of us
of us
that
that's
do
gonna
not.
do that.
We realize this.
While traveling and living our best life, because there's a bunch of us who know how to do that. So when they tell us, what I don't want any politician doing or anyone telling us is, they always tell us is, we'll give you reparations and we'll do it via community centers and programs. Hell no. I don't want your community centers. I don't want you to tell me that you're going to pay for me to go to school, because your schools are shit. My ancestors built those schools. I can educate
Exactly.
my kids.
Without self efficiency, it's pointless. So I definitely understand you, man.
Right, I can we need we need, and I'm saying this with my chest pumped out, and I'm saying this coming from a place, you guys are gonna laugh when I say this. My husband of 30 plus years is European. When I tell you we need to separate from them, and I will bring his ass with me, we need to separate from them. And when I say them, I'm not talking about a color. I'm talking about a freaking spirit. Those and that evil, hateful spirit that hate people based on the color of their skin, get the hell out of my way. I will roll over you. We need our own communities, our own people, spirit-filled, loving people who see humans as humans, period. And don't tell me how to spend my money. If I want 100,000 pair of Nikes, I'll buy it.
I love that. Absolutely. You notice that, right? Notice how certain communities can get monthly compensation, right? And nobody tell those communities to stop going to the freaking liquor store. I'm not gonna say who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say who I'm talking about.
Exactly.
You know exactly
Exactly.
who I'm talking about, though.
And let us not forget that there were reparations and a formal apology that went to the Japanese Americans. And it was signed by Ronald Reagan way back in 1988.
And to the European Jews.
Hmm. Every demographic has got their reparations in some way, shape, fashion, or form, except the descendants of the American slave, the foundational Black Americans.
Except the real Israelites and Moors who've been subjugated on their own turf.
Exactly. Notice I said European Jews
Hmm.
who owned slaves.
So
May I interject?
go ahead, Paige.
Um, hey, peace and love, everybody. I really appreciate this conversation that you all are having this conversation, and I recognize some of the other chiefs up here. Give thanks and gratitude. One thing that I definitely have to emphasize to people is that the reason as to why we have not gotten any reparations is because we still don't understand. And I'm talking about, when I say we, I'm even talking about even the most intelligent of Moors still have not been able to navigate through this legalese trap that we've been trying to get up out of. See, we are debtors to the U.S. government. So we'll never, ever get reparations in the form that we think we will, because everybody else come here on visas. We all are
Not, not,
debtors.
not
They
to
all
cut you
still
off,
have
but
their
it's the kind of
nationality.
people we have.
One second. They all still have they all still have a nationality. And although, yes, you can say you're Moorish, you're this, you're that, but if you continue to keep engaging with the United States government and contracting with them, you're just still going to be a Moor. You're just still going to be indigenous. You're just still going to be an American Indian who's still a debtor to them. So, and it's
Not exactly.
2023.
Not
So
exactly.
you
Not
don't think
exactly.
reparations?
I'm
Go
telling
ahead.
you
Go ahead.
this because I actually have cases involved in this. So I'm still. I mean, some people
Okay,
who
so
say this don't have
can I ask
cases.
you? Can I ask you this then? Because I'm actually a diplomat of a Moroccan state court, and and yes, Moors are over here stateless, and they
Okay.
haven't returned back to the nation state. This is the reason why a lot of the rhetoric happens within the Moorish community. So.
Right.
You know,
I gotta ask a question, guys. I gotta pause you guys. Guys, we're talking about reparations here, and we have already gone off into the weeds. And I gotta ask you both, um, Amari, what's your lineage, man?
well, I'm Cherokee and Moroccan.
And Moroccan.
Hmm.
Hmm. Paige, how about you?
I'm from here. I don't like to use those terms. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh, I see. I see how this is going. Well, Paige, you have a great day. I don't do
No,
ops. I
it's
don't do
not.
agents.
No,
I
wait,
don't do
wait.
ops or agents, Paige. I don't do ops or agents. That you can see where that was going, right? So
Yep.
AKA, you
Yes,
got the
sir.
floor, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, we should get reparations 100%. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to try to keep us confined in the box by saying, well, we're going to mess up the money, we're going to spend it frivolous, and you're going to trick it off, and all these other different things that they say. But they never
Which is
say
all
that when it
hearsay.
comes down. They never say that when it comes down to other races getting reparations. For instance, the Ukraine. Are we going to honestly say that every Ukraine is going to do the right thing with that money? No, that never comes up. So that is a way of them trying to keep us from getting reparations. They know if we get this money, we're gonna outdo every black community that was burnt down by them. We're gonna do it 10 times better. That's the problem with it. They don't want
Hmm.
us to get ahead.
That's right.
Keep us
And
in the box. That's
we're
Worse
point
not
in the
blank.
gonna
head.
burn, we're not gonna
I
allow
totally
them
agree
to
with you.
burn nothing
I
down.
totally agree.
And they
So
know
And
so
here's and
this is
here's
the
here's
real
here's the best part
issue
about what you said though. The best part about what you said though is that the black demographic has changed so much. It's not just the black man who's going to be empowered. You have black women with the aptitude to start their own their own beauty supply stores, their own chains, their own restaurants. These sisters out here can cook, but guess what? They in the kitchen and they are not the general manager. They're not the owner. And guess what? Now they're going to get a shot to go and do that. It's not
hmm
about the money, guys. It's about the power. It's about the culture.
so
It's like
so
what a famous quote once said. It's not the money. It's a culture. Our culture
think
of
about
building and innovating with very little, taking a very very small amount of money and stretching it out. That's what they're scared of because a huge cash inflection means we take over.
think about the
And can I say
teaching.
something?
Think
Say
Go ahead.
about
something real
I
quick.
want to
think
add on
about
to
the
that.
teaching
Like,
of our
I want to add
children.
on to that real quick.
We learn.
Good.
I hold a master's degree, right? I hold a master's of science. I learn by storytelling. Our children learn by storytelling. I didn't learn shit in college. I learned by reading books. So that's why our the school curriculum was never designed for us. It was designed for us
no,
to be illiterate, right?
they said that they want workers, not thinkers, y'all. So
Right.
we have to keep in mind
We
when
had our
you
own
know,
communities,
the
and
system is set up
when he said
for us to.
the women in the
Let's
kitchen,
speak this one at a time, guys.
I'm sorry, you said the
Let's let
women.
favor speak.
Yeah, you said the women in the kitchen. I ain't never been a cook, but I'm a social fighter and talker. And I can teach young people how to speak and how to think and how to read and formulate ideas. And that's powerful. You know, how to, instead of fighting with their hands, how to fight with their minds, how to use their minds, their words. And that's missing in our communities. It's powerful.
Right.
Oh,
Can
good.
I say something real quick? If you
Go ahead.
look at it, look at everybody that we know today. If they gave us the money, the overall picture, how many of these foreigners that come over here are going to get knocked off the block just by us getting the money? Having our own
Exactly.
companies, doing our own hair companies, have our own service station, have our own fast food, have our own grocery store. So
All of
look
it.
at that like that. Those
If we
are the
kept
ones that don't want us to get the reparation because it knocks them out of the
out
pot.
the box, yes, it does.
Yeah.
Because if
Oh,
we
Not
all start
it.
pooling the money within our own community, then they'll be hit anyway.
Yes, we'll be self sufficient then.
And keep
but the
in
liberal
mind,
boogeyman.
companies.
Hey, I just want to give liberal boogeyman. I don't want to just keep ignoring people, right?
Yeah. Long time no see, man. How you doing?
Go ahead, go ahead. So, how do you feel about reparations? How do you feel about the conversation? How do you think it's going? And what do you feel about all the people trying to discourage us from taking cash?
I want my money. Like real talk. That's how I feel. Like
Right,
I want my money,
exactly.
and
Cut the
I just don't.
check.
I just don't want just the money too. Like I want to be tax free as well because we deserve that.
Well, well,
I want more than just the money. Like
for
the stuff they
yesterday.
did to us was so horrific. A check just ain't gonna cut it.
Well, for right now, a check will cut it from me. Send me about. I say a good amount for me personally. I'll take about 1 million. I'll settle for like a
Mm.
figure and a half. You give me that, man, bruh. I'm telling you, I'm starting me a
I take
farm.
that
Mm.
just as well. I take that. Like that's and like I used to have this mentality that I would like to see another way of doing reparations because we talked before about this, and I said like I would like to see them give back all the taxes we paid, and I would like to see them cut our taxes and give us, like our businesses and stuff like that. If we go out and make businesses, they should be tax-free businesses and things like that. But I do understand now that it's much better just to receive that check, and I'll fight for the rest of that other stuff later.
I told y'all. Eventually, everybody comes around to this. And do you want to know why? Because it is the unwillingness of the dominant white society to just bend a little bit, right? So now it's we want our check because we understand anything else that you're going to provide outside of cash, it is most likely going to be tainted. The land's going to be tainted. The schools are going to be tainted. The educational benefits that you claim are going to be just for us, white women are going to end up with it. Just like figure affirmative action. Everything that you claim is going to be just for us is going to go is going to go to somebody else. Do you know what you don't have to share? A check. If it comes in my name, you can't get that. That's mine.
So can I ask one question to everybody? So
Go
so
ahead.
this is the thing. So throughout the course of my researching on how to the proper way to go legally to get reparations, right? So
Mm-hmm.
adaptive certain um ways of thinking is the reason why we all can collectively come together. Because, like I said, we got schools teaching us one thing, and then when you get to an adult, you experience something else. So that can cause a confliction within the human, brain. Because now you've been taught this, but now you see that it's this. You see what I'm saying? And then some people is reflecting back on what they learned because that's what they learned. That's what life is showing them.
Hey,
Do y'all agree?
um, I'm not sure what you're getting at, like completely. I'm maybe I misheard the question, but I'm guessing
So
like
what I'm asking
I
is
think you trying to tie mental illness into reparations.
right. So the perceptions why it's taking a long time to me is the perception of people getting an education, and when you come into an adult, most of those things that you was taught you never use. So like people are trying to reflect back on to their education or indoctrinated ways, and then this is where the issue coming in at, because we gotta relearn, unlearn, and relearn for us to get ahead.
Can I
right, right.
expound on that a little bit?
Okay, go ahead.
So, like, to speak to the liberal boogeyman's point, that remedy already exists. So that's why education is so important. The remedy already exists to be tax free, to start a business that's tax
All
exempt.
that.
But we still have obligations in this country, based on the laws and or the statutes and codes that they write. So that's
Right,
why.
right, right. Exactly. So that's the reason why I'm asking.
Hey,
Is it the
Pepper,
perception?
hold on. Hey, Paper Tech, you got like a loud like background there. Go ahead, Amari.
Okay, yeah. So that was the reason why I was asking everybody: is it perception? Because if we can all collectively come to the same perception, then I think we can move further, take steps together instead of moving. Some people trying to move forward, some people trying to take 2 steps back because they don't understand.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's something like that. I think there is a, and here's the thing. This is why we have a problem with some parts of the diaspora, and I love the African diaspora. You see, I clearly have people about, I mean, there are all kinds of black folks, but some the problem that we have with certain parts of the diaspora is that they don't understand the unique struggle here. They're not linked to the soil. So when they come here, they don't understand that there's a mindset, that there's a trick game, that usually
Hmm.
when the government wants to screw you out of something, they'll say things like people of color, or this and that, right? Or they'll offer you educational benefits, and most of the things that you learn in college or freaking high school, you will never use ever again. Or or they will offer you all kinds of, you know, things that are not tangible, that you are sharing with somebody else if it is tangible. So understand that it does come with a mindset change of, I see why there's so many black folks who are against reparations, or who want to make it something other than cash. I get it. They don't think, and if you listen to some of the reasoning, you could hear some of the self-doubt, right? Like, they will say things like, "Oh, you're just gonna go trick it off," or "Oh, you're just gonna spend it on Cadillacs or just Jordans, or you're gonna just spend it on like freaking drugs." People say stuff like that as self doubt, even as even as they are actively black people. So that is a self hatred and a self doubt that has arisen over generations of colonization and generations of being told that you are less than human. But with that being said, there has to be a change in mindset. When I say things like, "Hey, Ukrainians are getting a bucket loads of freaking cash," no one seems to have an issue with it as much as me saying, let's pay black people money. Notice the influx of resistance. Don't you find that strange? Don't you? I want you to watch it next time. I want you to watch next time. Watch it when I'm talking to a black person about reparations, who is going to who is going to bring up, we're going to just trick it off. Watch the lack of response when I bring up Ukraine, or watch them try to deflect. They're going to say, well, I don't want to pay for freaking Ukraine either. They're going to say that. They're not going to hold Ukrainians to the exact same standard as they're holding their fellow black person. They won't do it. And they won't even see themselves doing that. That's the amazing part. I'm watching
But
these
brother,
people.
that could be
So
explained
to
though.
say you're absolutely right, and the worst part about it is they won't even object to see that the same Europeans who oppressed their ancestors, now they're is their governor. You see what I'm saying? So that's the real root of the problem. How as we as a people will allow someone to govern us that oppressed our ancestors.
Yeah,
They don't have
it
no.
is.
They have.
Let me
They have.
chime in
Pepper
for a
tech.
little minute.
Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I got a little noise in the back. I'm
Go
in the
ahead.
big rig right now. Just bear with
I
me.
feel you, brother.
Um, I hear what
I
you're
feel you, brother.
saying. I don't think the cash option is a good option, because
Mm,
I think the reason why they're doing this right now is for re-election, right? Because this is
mm,
not a bill. This is just a proposal, right? So they know everybody across the world is getting off of the cash. So if we get the cash value, if we get the cash in the US, we're gonna put ourselves into recession. We're gonna have the
mm,
greenhouse effect. Put it this way: you have 5 people and you have give each of them $1,000, and they could only trade with themselves. What would be their per capita per year? It only
mm.
would be 5,000. You get what I'm saying? I think you're in a unique position that you're overseas, because I think what they should be asking for is gold bonds, or gold certificate. That way it's an international currency. that
I
you're
do
not
agree.
subject to only U.S. You can
I do agree.
do business overseas. That's why they give it. They want to give out cash because the cash is dead. When you give the cash in the next 10 to 20 years,
Mm.
nobody's accepting cash.
I
You
do
can't
agree.
do
So
business
agree.
outside. Are you stuck in the
can I can I
U.S.?
can I can I just ask you a question, brother? So when they weren't paying when they weren't paying when they weren't paying us for all these years, was it because cash is gonna be was it because cash was gonna be devalued, or was it because we
Well,
were
at the
black?
time, right now, what he's saying, y'all, to sum it up, the dollar has went to zero value. So since that's the case,
No, it hasn't.
yes, it has. Go look on the exchange right now. It's at zero.
So
The
right
value,
The
now,
the,
dollar was
if
the
I
at
go to
trade,
the
the
store right
trade,
now,
the
hold
trade.
on,
yeah.
wait. I'm
I'm
gonna ask
saying
you a
the
question.
trading value.
If I'm
I'm saying
going
the
to the
trading
store right
value for
now,
oil.
if I go to the store right now, and if I buy a soda for the same price that I just bought soda for on this morning, would you admit that you were wrong?
So what I'm speaking on is the trade to oil dollar ratio, and that's
That
where
that
they
is
get the
not what
value
he
of the
just
dollar
said.
from. Yeah, that's where they get the dollar from. That's where they get the
Okay,
Yeah,
value of
that's
the
that.
money
Amari
No,
Bey.
that's
Yeah, you
that we
hold on.
correct.
use.
That's
You
the
correct.
petrodollar that
So
you're talking about. Our currency is
You
the
correct.
fiat currency.
You
We're not
correct.
related to
Right.
that.
You correct. The fiat currency and the petrodollar is the same thing. Don't never get it twisted. What I am
They're
saying,
yeah,
what I am saying is the same thing. She is. I don't know if it's a her or a do, but it's the trading value of the currency. Yes, you
Mm.
can go to the store right now in the U.S. and buy something. Yes,
hmm
because this is the U.S. The U.S. backs its money. But as
Right.
you can see around the world, they are not using the dollar. They are moving away from the dollar. They're getting their money back by gold currency.
So when this dollar crash happens, right? Let me ask you a question. Are they going to stop giving money to Ukrainians? Yes or no?
That's what I was about to ask because I don't see them
Well,
giving
you
Ukraine gold bonds and stuff like that.
I would like a yes or no answer to that. Do you suspect? I'm not asking you yes or no. Do you know for sure? Do you suspect they're still gonna be giving dollars to Ukraine?
yes, they're still going to
Well,
give
Yes,
we
they're gonna
actually
still
don't
be
know
giving
what
dollars
form of
to
currency they
Ukraine.
gave.
They're gonna still be
Can
giving
it?
dollars to Ukraine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
AD,
that means that
AD,
why can't we
General
get the same
ACAB. I got to
dollars?
drop. Thanks for having me, brother.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. I feel you. Yeah. So the dollar has gotten stronger in the last 3 months, guys. We've got to stop spreading this propaganda. All right. Every time that we bring up cash reparations, that's always a different excuse, and that's getting old. Because I got to ask you, paper tech, where are you from, brother?
I'm from the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Oh, wait a minute. Do you understand reparations in terms of what's being proposed in California and also what's going to be proposed federally is going to be linked to lineage base?
Yeah,
So why is it that everybody? I mean, I've had Black Wing, I've had Paper Tech, I've had Amari. Why is it that everybody who's not linked to this lineage talking down on reparations on
what
cash?
lineage? What lineage you're talking about? If you could clarify.
The people who are Black descendants of American slaves, the people who are linked to the soil here, the people who have been here for generations, like hundreds of years, our own
Oh,
separate lineage group.
okay.
Family,
I get what
can I
you're
ask?
saying. So let me clarify. So let me clarify. Not everybody's just based in the U.
What?
Not based in the U.S. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, my Bluetooth went dead. So my family was taken from the West Coast, brought to North Carolina, slave on the sugar field, then took to New York, slave on the sugar field, and then was moved to Barbados. And then when the
Okay.
U.S. bought the U.S. Virgin Islands for 32 ounces pound of gold, they sent my father, my lineage, to the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Right.
So you see how that's intertwined.
I'm thinking
You
that
say
you're doing a little
lineage
bit of a. There's a logical fallacy known as special pleading.
because right now you can see this the same sugar field in New York was
Mm.
the Domino sugar is still there.
Are you sure you have a lineage to here, brother? Because I'm gonna let you know something right now.
I'm telling you, I'm a
I've
Freeman.
been to all 50. I've been to all 50 states, right? And I know us very well. And I don't take this. I don't think this is funny.
Get
I'm
this.
gonna ask you one more time,
My
brother.
grandfather's last name is
You have repeated everything that I heard the Moorish Science Temple repeat at the reparations meeting in California. The same silly
oh
stuff.
really? I have
Yeah,
no idea about those guys.
Wait, there's a
brother. I'm gonna
more
ask you one more
temple?
time.
Yo,
What is your lineage?
My lineage is West Africa.
Okay, now you changed it from the U.S. Virgin Islands to West Africa. Sir, I want you to have a good night, and I don't want you ever. Sir, have a good night. Do you
Yeah,
see
yo,
what I mean?
my
you
bad.
can't be
Yo,
American
yo.
and African.
Can I?
That's silly.
Whoa. Hey, yo, can I tell you something real quick?
No. He
I
just said
think,
he's
I
from
think,
the U.S. Virgin Islands, right? But then he
but
also says he's from West Africa.
I mean,
And
but
then
I
on
was
top of
born in
that, you're
North
talking
Carolina.
bad, talking down on reparations. That's 3 strikes, brother. Come on now.
I don't think he was necessarily. I just want to say this too, right? Real quick. So I
He
Yeah, he
is.
wasn't
identify as
talking
African,
down on the
even though I was
reparations.
born in North
Amari, I'm
Carolina.
gonna
He was
ask you
more
one more
so.
time. What is your lineage?
I told you I'm Native American and Moorish.
Okay.
My
Okay.
father was Moorish. My mother is Cherokee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and you can have a good night too. I don't
Yo,
do ops.
But my
so
crazy
I don't
thing
do
is
ops.
like,
real quick,
this is the
hey
crazy
yo,
thing to
can I
me.
say something real
To
quick?
me, it doesn't matter what your lineage is. You should respect the fact that people need to get paid. That's it.
Right.
I
It
would.
should again. FBAs. We've been fighting here for the longest time. We fought for people to come here. We fought for people to even exist here. We fought for people to get fair housing. We fought for people to get civil rights. We have even gone to other countries to fight for people's rights in the African diaspora, in freaking Spanish people, in freaking Spanish speaking countries. You have brothers going over to Asian countries fighting for their rights. And now the second we mention cash. You get all these ops, all these jealous people, people that I'm gonna go ahead and say it, tethers. I never wanted to use that word before. Tethers. Tethers who come here, who want to go down on our claims. I am so sick of us putting on the cakes for all these people, for them to come here and be so goddamn disrespectful. This is not about your feelings. We are disproportionately the homeless. You have black women who are in hospitals right now who can't make it out when they have a child. You have black women right now who are struggling, who are the black descendants of American slaves. You have black men right now who are on the streets, black veterans who are on the streets. Reparations, cash reparations for those people would lift us out of poverty right now, would lift those families out of food insecurity right now, would absolutely help that black woman, that black entrepreneur start a business right now. And you undermining us. You're doing that for a reason. You're doing that for a reason. You're afraid of change. The world's changing around you. Accept it. But undermining us, this whole cottage industry of economically depriving black people, that's got to end. Some of y'all get some sick pleasure off of denying us financially and economically, denying us power. Some of you get some sick pleasure off of doing that. Sorry about that. Love him, love him, live him. How you doing? How you doing, sister? I want to bring you on.
Grand
Speak
Rising,
your truth.
brother. Thank you so much for doing this platform. Um, we,
Absolutely.
we we have to remember that anytime we're voting on something that's going to benefit us, everyone goes against it. Anytime in history, like even if you think they love quoting Martin Luther King, but like 70 to 80% of America was against Martin Luther King himself. So we
Mhm.
can't expect anybody to rally behind us. Like when we think about the currency changing, yeah, there's a possibility the currency may change, but they would owe us for hundreds of years. So
Right.
if the currency change, then they can pay us in a new currency, and because we were
Right.
also oppressed through different currencies. There was a time when
Say that
there
again,
was a
sister.
time when we
Say
were
that again.
oppressed. We were oppressed through different currencies. So the change of the currency don't mean anything. Like if you change currency, as long as America stands, if it stands past 500 years, then they would be out of debt to us. But for the next, like when they start paying us, they're going to owe us for hundreds of years. And those of us who choose to stay and receive that and set up shop here in America. Me personally, I would leave America. But for those of us who choose to stay, they also need to give us need to pay us the land so we can unify in one portion, because they know the way this system is set up, you're gonna need finances, and you're going to need power, and you're going to need unity. We cannot have that when we're scattered everywhere. You know, they scattered us like that for a reason. We're scattered, and we're scatter minded, and we're taught to go and fight everyone else's fight, and they just have us so scattered brain that we can't overcome, and they know this. You know, the important thing is that we know it too, and we do our due diligence to keep our foot on their neck. Some people say, "Good luck, you'll never get it." Well, they said the same thing about our ancestors being free. They said they'll never get it. Look at us now. You know, look at us now. We're still here. We're still fighting. So I would say we just keep going. Forget the naysayers. Let them say what they're gonna say. We already have sense enough to fix it up the where it has to be lineage based. We got like no matter how much they think we're crazy, we have sense enough to fix this thing up. We just gotta stay focused and see it through.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that we have to also, something that you said that I think was wow, spot on. You said that they have oppressed us through different currencies. Now, in court cases, usually when let me just play along with this crazy new scam Africanist nonsense that you're hearing now with oh well, we're all gonna crash because the dollar's gonna go away, guys. Yes, BRICS is coming out with their own currency. Granted, get all that. That's called a competitor. The dollar has had many competitors. There are a lot of currencies who compete side by side with the dollar. The dollar is not going to crash. The BRICS currency is not going to crash. It's just a new competitor. That's it. That just means that now you have different options. And it's very strange how most of these BRIC countries are not white, and that's why people are freaking out about it. Oh, these South African countries are going to have their own currency. Do you remember what they did to Muammar Gaddafi? You know exactly what Gaddafi was gonna he was gonna make his own currency, unify Africa by doing that. So that's why they actually took out Muammar Gaddafi, and that's why I think whereas a lot of this hysteria about the BRICS currency is coming from. It's not really coming from any legitimate place. But even with that being said, America has assets. If you don't want to, if you think that the country or the dollar is going to crash, give up your assets. Then give us the White House. Give us Mount Rushmore. Give us give us Yellowstone. If you really feel the dollar is going to crash like that, give us collateral then. But they don't actually feel that way. They know it's not going to happen because they know that after the Brits come out with their freaking currency and the so-called devaluation of the dollar begins, they're still going to be giving money to Ukraine, to freaking Germany, to freaking Ireland, Australia, every other country out there in the world. They're still going to be giving money out there to it to support global white supremacy. So if you can support global white supremacy, you can support domestic justice for black descendants of American slaves. Does anybody disagree?
Nah, but hey, nah, I
Okay.
don't disagree. But I'm just saying, earlier, because I didn't get to speak. Yeah, I mean, I agree with reparations, but to be fair, when it comes to the U.S. Virgin Islands, we have to understand that the U.S. Virgin Islands was bought by the U.S. to be a slave colony. So it is
Right.
some sort of shared lineage, because most of us do come from West and Central Africans. That's all I wanted to say with the old dude that
Right.
was on there. Now, when it comes to
Right.
reparations, I wholeheartedly agree with reparations, but I think, like, we should, that is not the end all be all. We should look at things such as the Republic of New Africa and just expand upon that work that's already been done. You know what I'm saying? Because if we go in there with
Oh,
only one thing and we can't necessarily, negotiate and debate and fight for something more, they just gonna give us the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? I think we should
right.
go hard and try to attack from all angles. So, but yeah.
Right. Well, let's get the cash down first, because first of all, nothing can happen without some hard capital, man. We're gonna need something because listen, you can't organize without cash. You can't even run a political campaign without cash, man. We gonna need the money,
Exactly.
man. We need our paper, and that's just what it's got to be. Like I I can respect where some people are coming from in terms of having us be educated, having us be more connected and more mindful of where our funds are going. I can respect that, but people aren't asking Ukrainians that. No one's asking Ukrainians that. I know they're not. I know they're
Nope.
not. In
And real
fact,
quick,
I remember just last week, I almost, and I had to stop myself because I said, hey, I'm a content creator. I'm pretty popular. People know who I am. Let me not get myself in trouble. But I almost was gonna confront this Ukrainian who I knew was a freaking Ukrainian driving a Dodge Ram. It was a, I don't know if it was a Dodge Ram, but it was some kind of Dodge truck. It was nice, brand new, and he was talking about how he was struggling in Ukraine, how he couldn't find work, but that he was getting a check from the government. And I wanted to go and curse him out and actually confront him like, hey, I'm a combat veteran. I had to actually go to war for this country to actually get what I'm getting, and I'm an actual citizen. You hop the fence, and you're getting paid every single month. That again, when that's happening, and all the naysayers, I haven't seen them mention that even once. I can't take those people seriously.
and real quick, brother, I just want to put
Go
in
ahead.
that the reason they don't mind the Ukrainians, they don't mind any other nation of people getting anything because they know how this thing started. They know that this whole dream started with us, and that's how it ends. They know that our restoration means destruction. They know it. So they will go into the ends of the world. They will immigrate anybody in here to keep us down. That's why we have to remember this to stay focused on our own fight. Like the brother was talking, I'm sorry, I'm on the treadmill, but the brother was talking about the Republican of Africa. I like how you told them, like, first we got to get cash. They like to shame us out of acknowledging that we need cash. And it's our generations of not being financially compensated has finally caught up with us. So whether we want to admit it or not, we want to sit around and keep hollering entrepreneurship and all these other big words. But when you look around your neighborhood, it's us who are outside. When you look
Right.
around your neighborhood, and we're not out there because we're smoking dope. We're out there because history has finally caught up with us. So if we're not gonna fight, we can't afford to fight for Africa. We can't afford to fight for Haiti. We can't afford to fight for anybody until we fight for ourselves. And that's the scatterbrain I'm talking about. We gotta stay focused, like
Yeah.
right here, right
Can I?
now.
Yeah, can I respond to
And
that?
that's
Because what I was saying was right. I don't disagree that we don't need capital and cash. And what I said was the Republic of New Africa, right, which is a collection of southern U.S. states started by like Robert Williams and a whole bunch of other people. It's land based because we need land. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not saying we don't need cash, but I'm saying we still got to keep fighting because they're not just going to give you cash. They're not going to give us cash. They're not going to give us anything without a fight. So either way, we should fight for as much as what we can get. That's all I'm
Right.
saying.
Right.
And
So
then the
so
thing with
so
Ukraine, we got to understand like geopolitics too. You know what I'm saying? Like they have interest in Ukraine, and of course, like they're going to because they're
yeah,
also
because they're white.
yeah they're white. And when you look at the groups in Ukraine fighting, the reason that they fighting over it's been a
No,
thing like over
no,
resources
it's
as
just because they're
well.
white. That's
It's
just it.
white and resources. It's
No, it's
white and
white.
resources. Okay,
It's white.
all
It's,
right.
it's, it's
Well,
white. The
can I
the
say?
other the
Can I
other thing
say?
is that you're saying again because if it's about the whole the regional thing, well, how come the U.S. government hadn't sent any particular weapons to the IRA in Ireland?
Because
There's been a
their
whole bunch
biggest
of regional
ally has
conflicts
been the
that
UK.
have
Their
been going
biggest
on for a
ally,
long time. You
their
can't
biggest ally
justify that.
hasn't been the IRA though. Their biggest ally hasn't been the IRA. It's been the UK. They've been supporters of the United Kingdom's domination, like point blank period, worldwide. So
But
if
the
the
thing
IRA
is,
is
though,
going
you're
against
you
the
the
United
only
Kingdom's
reason
government
why Ukraine is getting money is because they're white.
because they're
Now, the
white and
reason
because
why
they're
we
going up
we are
against Russia
because
though,
they're white, sir. You
because
have
and
not
they're going
seen
up
anything
against
like
Russia.
this,
Okay, all right, no.
sir.
I
So
mean,
Russia has never went into a country that's not white. Listen to me. It's because they're white. You want to know how you know it's also because they're white? Because when they're also brought here, they're treated like they're white, sir.
I think what he's saying is, I
like I think he's not disagreeing with you, but I think he's saying that it's not strictly because they're white. It's
It's
because they're
because they're white.
white. It's because they are white. You feel me? And because of resources
Yeah, like it
and
can be because they're
strategic.
white, but there's also added things to that. That's really all I'm saying. That's literally it. Like that's literally it. Like,
No,
you know, we live under a system of
it's
economic and racial exploitation and domination. That's how it's
sir.
been.
The
That's how
only
it always
reason
been.
why we intervene in Ukraine is because they're white. You want to know how I know that? Because if we can extract resources out of something and without intervening to help the people, we will do that. You want to know how you know that? Look at
It's
Rwanda.
been over in Africa.
How the
Yeah,
U.S. is involved in Somalia. They've been involved in Afghanistan. They've been involved
they've
in
been
Iraq.
involved,
They've
but
been
not
involved
helping
in
them.
Sudan.
They've been
And
undermining the governments. You're starting to sound more and more like an agent, sir. I know how they're trained.
All right,
I'm an
we would have
agent.
been
You
we would
know,
have been over in
okay,
South
bro.
Africa
All
if
right,
that was the
Sir,
man.
case.
you're
Keep
sounding
talking.
more and
Keep
more
talking.
like that
You don't know me,
because what you're
dog, but it's
saying,
cool though. All right, I mean that's
you don't.
cool. I'll be an agent then, fam. Like it is what it is.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. You start to sound more and more like it, sir. Because when you start talking about West Africa, and again, notice the example that you just used, right? Notice the example that you just used, and notice how he deflected. That was very weird. Very weird. That he was not agreeing. We were not saying the exact same thing. Especially if you listen to him when he was talking about reparations. He's talking about establishing a new republic of Africa.
Mm-mm.
That is agent talk. Come on, man. Listen, if some Negro shows up to your reparations meeting, and you start talking about cash, and then instead of talking about the cash you're gonna actually receive, he starts mentioning the new Republic of Africa that's going to be established in the southern United States. Think that the U.S. military is gonna let a bunch of black people establish a Republic of New Africa. Boy, we are struggling to get cash payments. One thing at a
And
damn time.
I don't think a lot of people realize the fact that Candace Owens asked to do the same thing. It was called a Blexit, a black exit.
Right.
Remember, Candace Owens promoted that. She is a
That was
whole agent.
that was
And she was
exactly
also
that
not
was
FBA.
exact.
Hey, General
Yeah.
ACAB. Hey, General ACAB. I got something to say about reparations, but first off, I want to salute you for your tireless service, you feel me, on behalf of all foundational black Americans, you feel me? And
Thank you.
I had sent you a DM, I don't know if you got it,
Go
but
ahead.
but here's my thing. A lot of people let the definition of money go over their head. The definition of money is an accepted and agreed upon medium of exchange. You see what I'm saying? So in the Constitution, it says the only constitutionally lawful money is gold and silver, right? So I'm all for reparations, cash reparations, but because of what the definition says, it's an accepted and agreed upon medium of exchange. It doesn't necessarily have to be cash. It can be buttons, it can be hats, it can be zippers on jackets. You feel me? As long as
Mm-hmm.
it's accepted and agreed upon. So all I'm saying is that we need to have a medium of exchange that's immune to the changing of what the definition of what money is, regardless of what they decide of what money is. Our money
Mm-hmm.
is going to be spent. So that's the fear that I have for cash reparations, is because
Mm-hmm.
once we get it, they might change what the definition is.
Okay.
They might change what is accepted and agreed upon as money.
Can
China
I
ain't
can
gonna
I
let them
can
do
I can
that.
I can I can I just ask you a question? How many Ukrainians do you see hauling around silver and gold?
None, not that I know of.
Oh, so why do you not see any homeless ones?
Because as of right now, they have cash. But do you understand what my fear is?
Right. So as of right now, I want cash.
Yeah, and trust me, your fear is very
But we can't
unfounded
put
because
nothing past
Hudson
these white
believes.
supremacists. We can't underestimate them under any circumstances. It's
The white
chess for nine
supremacists
seconds,
are
King.
giving the Ukrainians money. So I want the exact same thing. If the white supremacists think that cash is so good that you're giving it to these Ukrainians, I want the same. I want the exact same thing. And when they start giving out gold bars to the I tell you, listen, I'll make a deal with you. When they start giving out gold bars, when they start giving out gold bars and silver to the Ukrainians, I'll take that too. But for
Mhm.
right now, they're giving out cash.
And trust and
Okay,
believe that your
so
fear is definitely
what if they gave
unfounded
out
though,
cash, we get
because
everything that we want, right? But then they change what the definition of money is, and then our cash becomes valueless. Then what?
I'm trying to
What
tell you
what
that
what is that?
look,
Oh God, as a conspiracy theory. Listen, this is
yeah, can
why
I have a
I
second?
struggle with TikTok. Go ahead.
Yeah. So your fear is completely unfounded. They're not going to change what the definition of our money is because one, America owes people a lot of money. If we try to change what the definition of money is, I guarantee you right now, China going to be up in arms because they want their fucking money too. You're not about to just change what the definition of money is just because of a group of people wanting to get reparations. That's apt. Your fear is definitely unfounded.
All right, bro. It's chess, not checkers, bro. Preparation loves victory.
Like you ever seen Rick and
Yeah.
Morty and where he says like China doesn't piss on
Listen,
the White House and Rick says why wouldn't they? I'm sure that was expensive. Like
hey,
there
B
you go.
Love. Hey,
What's
B
up
Love.
with it?
I want to ask you a question. B Love. Do you know anything about the Moorish science on temple?
I know a little bit about it. I don't subscribe to everything you feel me, they do, but you feel me,
Oh,
I know something about it though.
what do you know about it?
I know, you feel me. I don't really want to go into that, but I know about it. You feel me, they're real proficient in the law, and they,
Uh,
centered around, Islam and being a Muslim. You feel me?
right.
And they're real proficient in their law. And they talk about, you know, the Moorish about changing like status correction, about Tariq Nasheed refers to it as plebiscite Babel.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
I listen. I'm going to reserve my judgment for right now. I just want to say, what did you hear that idea that they're going to change the definition of money?
I didn't
What did you
hear
first hear that?
I didn't hear that idea, but when you look up the definition of what money is, it's an agreed and accepted upon medium of exchange. So by
Hmm.
definition, they can, if they choose to, change the definition of what money is, change the medium of exchange.
Hmm.
You feel me? By definition, these is not my words. This is what the
Right. So,
definition is. You see what I'm
and,
saying?
and you think they would do that if they paid us reparations?
I'm not saying that necessarily. I'm just saying that we can't put nothing past these white supremacists, and that preparation loves victory. So we have to be prepared, and we have to get ourselves in the best position just in case that does happen.
So what you're proposing is an extreme scenario that may or may not happen.
Yeah,
Extreme. But this is the most extreme. Them changing the definition of money, that is more extreme than declaring war. Do you understand that? That is more extreme than declaring war.
brother. These white supremacists is the most evil, most diabolical people on
But
the face of this
I'm
planet.
asking you a
So
question.
I'm not putting nothing past these motherfuckers, bro.
But
Period.
I'm asking you a question. Do you understand that will be a more extreme measure than declaring war?
I got that, but I'm not putting nothing past none of them because
Okay.
preparation
So
loves victory, bruh. Preparation loves victory, and we have to be
so
prepared if we want to become victorious.
right, right. So what you're saying is you want us to demand gold bars and silver based on an extreme scenario that is in most likelihood probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen.
Definitely not
Right.
gonna happen.
That's the constitutionally lawful money. Just look it up. It's in the United
Okay.
States Constitution.
So I asked you, did you know anything about the Moore Science Temple? You said you know a little bit. You repeated a lot of things that they usually say. That's why I was
But
asking you all those questions.
I don't refer to myself as plebiscite Babel. You feel me?
I didn't say that. I
I'm a
didn't say
realist. I
that.
know, but
I
that's
didn't
kind of
say
like
that I
you didn't
agreed
say
or
that, but you
disagreed.
insinuating that though. I think
He
How?
also said he didn't want to
What did
talk
I
about
say
it.
that?
you did not say that. I agree with you. You did not say that, but all I'm saying is you're insinuating that. It's like an
How am I
innuendo.
insinuating? I'm saying how am I insinuating? I said it sounds a lot. I didn't even say that you actually did. I said it just sounds like very very similar stuff to what I hear from the Moore Science Temple. That's why I asked you because from the very very beginning it was sounding very very similar. And there's also a reason why I asked that because several people in the comment section here have been saying that too. So it's not just me who's been noticing that.
Okay.
So when I asked you the question of what do you know about the Moore Science Temple, you say a little bit. Were you understating that a little bit?
Lightweight.
Lightweight. So would you say that you understand them a lot better than the average person?
Yes.
Even the average black person?
Yes.
You subscribe to some of their beliefs?
I don't subscribe to anything that got anything to do with belief, brother. I'm in the knowing business. You feel me?
Okay. All right. So, be love, man. You gotta come clean with me, man. What's
I
this
am.
actually about, man?
I
What's
am.
this about, man? What gold and stuff? You don't see Mexicans, people who are illegal aliens, or people who come in over here who are getting money. You don't see them walking around with gold bars. You know that. You know that, right?
Yes.
So why are you pushing this? Why do I see so many more science typical guys at the
I'm just saying this is what
California
the law
reparations?
says, King. This is what the law says.
The law. The
Yeah, the
law
law.
says, okay, well, based on that,
The United States
we have to be
Constitution.
paid. Okay.
Yes, we do have to be
You-
paid. We
I'm
do have to
thinking
be
that you're being
paid.
obtuse on purpose, and you know I don't like that.
I'm not being obtuse. I'm being sincerely honest, King. I really am. I just, I just don't I just don't like that. Like you trying to like downgrade me when all I'm trying to speak is the truth.
No one's downgrading you. I'm just asking you for honest stuff.
I'm being
And when
honest.
I
I'm being
ask you about the more
110%
things for
honest.
you actually downplay that a lot because as I'm talking to you, you sound exactly like them.
Nah, I'm not, bro. I don't subscribe to a lot of what they. It's a lot of what they do. I don't subscribe to.
It's not about a lot of what they do, right? It's not about that. I just want to have an honest conversation in good faith, brother. That's it.
Yes, I'm being
In
honest
good
in good
faith.
faith. Yes, sir.
So you understand where I'm coming from. I just want
Yes,
to
I
understand
do.
where you coming from. I'm speaking for cash only, right? If you go to the average black person in the country and you tell them, hey, this guy wants me to get cash in my pocket right now, the average person is not going to see me as somebody who's against black people. But on the flip side is if you go to the average black person and you start mentioning things like a new African Republic, you start mentioning things like gold bars and silver
I
bars
don't
instead of
subscribe to
cash.
no new African Republic, so don't
Well,
put
no,
me
no,
in
no.
the
I'm just
same
using
image bracket.
I'm using examples. I'm not saying that you did that. I'm
Okay,
just using
I'm for
examples.
foundational Black Americans only.
Okay, that's the first time I've heard you use that term, and it's kind of
Nah, actually, it's my second time. It's my second time.
okay. Well, the thing is that we've kind of had this discussion in California, and when the people were asked, they wanted cash. Okay, the option to put gold stuff up there that was already voted on, it was voted down. So the people of the lineage here, they want cash. That's what most commentators, most leaders of the movements, most people on the streets, most people on the grassroots, that's what most of them are saying. And it seems like the more we say cash, we get people saying everything but cash in ways that they are currently paying for and not accepting from other people. Prime example, I brought up Ukrainians not carrying around gold bars. If you really believe in what you're saying right now, you
I
would
don't
not pay
believe in
another
anything,
tax.
brother. Please don't put me in that belief word like on me like that. I'm in the knowing business, bro. I don't believe anything. If you
Listen,
believe something, you do not know.
you're playing
I'm
semantics.
not
You know
playing.
what I
Look up
mean.
the definitions, bro. Look
You
up the
are
definitions.
okay, brother. I hate to do this, but I'm thinking you're an op. And I don't say that about most people. There's only been three of them here.
Bro, I'll fuck with you the long way, bro. You can think about me what you want to, bro, but the truth is the truth, bro. You feel me?
So you're talking about gold bars over cash. Seriously?
You
Do you
misinterpreting.
understand
You
how much
misinterpret.
do you understand how much space $10,000 in gold bars take up? Do you?
Yes,
How much?
a lot of room, a lot of room. But I think you're
So
misinterpreting what I'm
the
saying,
average
though.
person is not asking for $10,000. They're asking for $200,000 or more. Do you understand
Well,
how much
actually,
space you would
no, no,
need
no.
a
Actually,
whole
a
acre
gold
to
bar,
hold that?
a gold bar is worth more than $10,000. A gold bar
That's
is worth
not what
more
I
than ten
said. I
thousand
said how
dollars.
much space it would take up.
Not a lot, because a gold bar, one single gold bar is worth more than
Have
ten
a good
thousand
night, sir.
dollars.
That's ridiculous. You are not. Goodbye. That's ridiculous. Oh my God. Jesus. Love him. Help me. Help me.
Brother,
Do you see what I'm talking about?
I see. It's
The
crazy.
dude's clearly a freaking op. It's not even funny.
It's right. I think the whole thing is it's a fear of the accountability that it's going to take for us to rise. And it's also the fear of hoping and not ending it. But we have to hope. I think that's really what a lot of us, we're scared to hope. And we're scared to actually be driving our own destiny. You know what I mean? So we kind
Right.
of like find these little small things to throw out. Because I mean that's a fixable thing. If they start playing semantics, we can do the same thing. We can,
Right,
it's
but
not a
but
big
but
deal.
has
It's not a
his
big
brother
deal.
even considered $200,000 worth of gold bars? You would need a freaking acre just to hold that.
Yeah, the thing about him saying like the gold bar was worth more. The gold bar, like a 5 ounce gold bar, runs for about 2K, and they're offering 10,000, right? So the bar is not
Right.
going to weigh more.
No, I
And
mean
then you
it's
have to
just
also consider that we may go into a full digital currency. That's probably, there are some people who believe America itself won't even be habitable in the next 50 to 100 years. So we're going to start
yeah,
denying land too, you know. Like anything can
yeah.
happen in the future, but we got to walk this thing out one step at a time. Step one, money. Step one.
And notice how when I also said, I said, hey, when I see Ukrainians walking around with gold bars and silver bars, that's when I'll jump over to it. Well, I don't agree with that either. I'm like, brother, you are acting just like the white supremacist who I brought over. Whenever I ask him a direct question, he can never give a direct answer. Never, never. But then he will come with some crazy, well, brother, if you read the laws, they can change the money, they can change the currency. He was going off of a freaking long shot. And I'm telling you, the more you listen to these people, there's a reason why these people show up here. This man sat here and listened to me for over an hour talking about how we needed cash reparations, right? For over an hour, this man has sat up here and then comes up here with some gold nonsense based on some non-existent law that he doesn't understand, or he does understand, and he was presenting something in a bad faith argument, because I think that he's clearly not who he says that he is. That dude has been following me for a long time, and I've never trusted him. This is why I was so aggressive with him, because he's always said such stuff. But I'm so glad reparations, again, like Professor Black Truth said, reparations as a topic, as an actual discussion, has exposed people. Once you bring it up, the ops will definitely expose themselves. The people who are for us, they will speak up. I'm sorry, Ganatasia TV. I haven't even talked to you. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. No, you're fine. I've just been taking it all in. Y'all are obviously more educated on this topic than I am. I just had a couple questions for you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So you're saying for reparations, you think that cash is the best bet, at least to start with, right?
Right.
And that's to descendants of slaves.
Right. Of chattel slavery here. Yeah.
Okay. So sorry, let me explain what I am. So I am, half Native American, and I have my CDIB card, which is the Certificate of Degree of Indian Blood, right? And that's
Right.
something that I had to prove to the American government that, hey, I'm Native American. Please give me, X, Y, Z of what you allow us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And going through that whole process was a rough time because you have to fight against the government because they don't want to give up that money. Now, I am all for African Americans and Black people getting reparations. The cash. My question is, how far does that cash go? Right. So you get cash today. You get whatever you're asking for, $1 million or whatever. What about your descendants? Do they also get that? And when do they?
Well, that would depend on what's being passed in terms of legislation. What I would like is exactly what your community gets. Exactly. Listen, not better than you, but exactly what you get. And if it can't be established, then take it away. That's fair. Now you could say, well, it's our land, and I would stop you right there. Actually, it's kind of our land.
Oh, I'm not.
If
I'm not
everyone
saying,
came, hold on, wait. If everyone came from Africa, it would have to be us. Aside from that, the original natives were not as light as you. The original natives were about as dark as me, if not darker. Where do we know this? Because when Christopher Columbus when his autobiography and his actual diary was opened up, they had to actually bring over a Spanish Jew who spoke Arabic to communicate with the natives. And on top of that, Columbus even described the natives as dark-skinned people. And when some of the spears, some of the actual spearheads were carbon dated and actually tested, they found that the spears could have only come from parts of southern Africa. And this is why when you look at some of the Indians when they dance, some of their spirit, some of their more popular spirit dances and that kind of stuff. And when you compare it to an African witch doctor and the way that he actually dances, it looks so similar. That's why. Now, with that being said, I understand that Native Americans have a have a have a bond to this land. I will not deny that. But I'm very curious to how you feel about Native Americans in terms of having us as slaves. Did you know that?
I did not know that. So, like I said, you're more educated on this than I am. Now,
Right.
I'm not saying that this is Native American land. Everybody get off of it. That's not how I am at all.
Right.
I am half Native American, but I'm also half Caucasian. So I'm very Caucasian facing. So I am pretty ignorant when it comes to some of these topics. Now, I am always learning, and I am not opposed to reparations. I I want to make sure that if reparations are given, that it helps everybody and not just one generation, right?
Right. Right. Well, I think that if you give us enough cash, it certainly would. Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you the same way that the many white families and other families they actually came up with the money that they were given, the generational wealth that they were afforded. They were only paid that one time or twice or everything, or pretty much 2, 3, 4, 5 times. But they came up and they stayed up. So if they give us that, give us that money, it's going to not only fix the problems within the black community, we're going to excel. We're going to start basically start jumping over people. By the way, Warrior for Trump. If you don't hop into the box, I'm going to ban you from the chat. But let's get back to what you were saying. Native Americans, man, I'm very curious. You didn't know that there was a lot of slave ownership within Native Americans. When you get a chance, I want you to look up the Cherokee of chief. His name was John Williams. Oh, no, was it John Adams or John Williams? John Williams, I believe. He famously had black people as slaves on the Trail of Tears. See, that's the real story behind the Trail of Tears. Most people who actually died on the Trail of Tears weren't natives. It was us. But Native Americans, the early ones, were very, very racist against us. This is why even now you have black people who are suing native tribes for membership. And they lied about the Trail of Tears. They said it was mostly natives who died. No, it was mostly us because you had us as slaves. And so pretty much when things were going south, the first people who were going to be who were going to be denied resources were the slaves. And so we were starved to death. And my family in particular, there's parts of my family tree that goes missing around that time. So this is why it's so insulting when I see people trying to inject Native Americans into our claim, because
Well, I
it's so
wasn't trying to
insulting.
inject the claim. I was just
Oh no,
it's
I'm not.
just
I'm
so
not. I'm not accusing you of that. I'm just saying when you see that, it's very, very insulting because people and I really think more people know about this history than what they let on, because it's strange. At one point, the so-called red native was considered a mulatto or one of us, Negro. You recall that for the longest time until white people came along. Because
and
at one point, the natives were us. There were us. There were black people that were here for hundreds of years before we were ever recorded. Whether we also know this is because there were black people in the American Revolutionary War. There were black Muslims here in huge numbers. When I say huge numbers, there were so many of us that the original 13 colonies, it was drawn up largely on Moorish territory. The original 13 colonies. It was Moorish territory. See, this is why I get so upset when I have these fake Moors show up here talking about paying out reparations, speaking gold coins. These people are ops. The actual Moors, they existed. They were conquerors. They were planners. They were warriors. They were sailors. They were innovators. These people brought Europe out of the Dark Ages. They taught Europeans how to wash. Because at one point in Europe, especially in freaking Spain, they would brag about not washing, the kings and queens. So a lot of the medicines, a lot of the personal hygiene, a lot of the science, a lot of the technology, a lot of the engineering came from the Moors. And so it's very interesting how those same people came over here. There's evidence because they existed in huge numbers. In fact, not only did they exist in huge numbers, I bring up certain Revolutionary War heroes like Joseph Ben Haley. Joseph Ben Haley is not Joseph Ben Haley. He is Joseph Ben Salam. He was a black Muslim man who fought in the American Revolutionary War. And we know that he existed because of the military muster rolls or the military roll call. We know that he actually existed. There were a lot of Muslims, a lot of black Muslims who actually existed. In fact, if you look at the Morris Sundry Act of I want to say it's Morris Sundry Act of can't remember the exact year, but it was during early slavery times in South Carolina. The Morris Sundry Act came about because this country's first treaty was with Morocco. So Morocco, they had the Barbary pirates. I'm want to try to repeat it, kind of how I heard the story from my grandma. And basically these pirates, they could enforce those treaties exactly how Tariq Nasheed said it. Pretty much. I'm gonna borrow from him more, like he said it, right? And so pretty much these Moors, they existed here, but they were not supposed to be subject to be slaves. So the Morris Sundry Act, it came in South Carolina because in South Carolina, that's where 40% of your slaves came in through the port of Charleston. And there was a famous story of a black couple. There's a black man. I think it was his wife and his I want to say relatives who were taken as slaves, and they tried to, and then South Carolina tried to actually bring about the Moor Sundry Act, because if Morocco heard about them, enslaving Moroccan citizens, it would have been a big old problem. Basically, the long and the short of it. So basically, what you're dealing with is history being retold to you that's been intentionally hidden. Everything that I just said right now is on full display at the Smithsonian Museum right now. It was recently discovered not that long ago. It was popularized by Tariq Nasheed through Hidden Colors, but there's a lot of freaking TED Talks, and also a lot of archaeological studies that confirm that we were in fact, here as Native Americans. This is why there's so much of your culture that's a lot of our culture. This is why, a lot of things that look at some of the rituals, some of the dances, some of the music, and then go compare it to West Africa or South Africa. It's the exact same stuff. It's just like when people from Mexico, they don't understand that gumbo is not indigenous to Mexico, or that when you listen to some of the drums, it sounds like drums from freaking South Africa. There's a reason for that. The further back in time you go, the blacker it gets. So it's about time that we go ahead and admit it. We were natives. And the result of the lighter natives came from colonization. That's what white people don't want to tell you. That's the part of history that you don't know. You, at one point, would have been called us. But because of colonization over time, and because they want to prioritize other groups over us, they made you something other than us. Okay? At one point, you would have been so dark that you would have that it would have been difficult to tell the difference between the two of us. But you've been colonized, so you look different and you think different. It is what it is, brother. But foundational Black Americans, we need reparations. The same way as Indians have their reservations and their casinos, same way as they have their reservations that you can't even visit without permission or escort. The same way that they sell their culture. They sell their culture. You have to go out and buy all the authentic wood carvings or all the authentic jewelry, you know, trinkets. They charge you for all that stuff. You make your money. And the so-called homeless Native Americans that you're seeing out there, do you understand that a lot of those people have not been tested to see if they're actually Native? Many of them are white people. That's why every time people bring it up, black people aren't the only homeless people. What about the homeless Native Americans? You mean the mostly white people who are homeless? Because every white person claims to be Native. Literally every one. Literally every one. Without exception. Without exception. I guarantee you there's almost no homeless Native Americans. And how do I know this? If you're an actual Native, you have reservations. Why are you homeless? Well, look at the condition of those freaking reservations. It sounds a whole lot better than living on the streets like the disproportionate, like all the black people who are on the streets right now. So I say all that to say this: Native Americans have gotten their chips. It's time that we get ours. Hey, love him. I wanna ask you: did I not kind of knock it out of the park there or what?
Yeah, bro, you did that.
I
I'm
kind
over
of
here
say.
excited. You got me about to shout. Church
Yeah,
time.
I'm just saying. Listen. I'm from South Carolina. I know what y'all talking about, man. I grew up in a poor neighborhood. We used to eat milk with a freaking fork to save the. We used to eat cereal with a fork to save the freaking milk, man. But our people have suffered long enough. We have fought and stumped for everybody else, bro. It's time for us to get our chips. It's time. It's been time.
And bro, and they should the Caucasian stance on this, they should be upset with the government for letting it go this long. When they see the other debts that we're in America, the debt ceiling keeps rising, they get upset with the government. They say, how dare them? How dare them get this far in debt and mismanage our money? We may not have Social Security. They get mad, but when it's us who are old, they get mad at us who are old. They should be upset at their government for letting this go on for this long, because just like they did it for over 400 years, they're going to have to pay us for over 400 years. And
Yep.
they should be upset with their government for getting them this far into the hole. Like, don't come to us. We're the people who are old.
Exactly. Exactly. But guys, I got an in stream there. Lady Warrior, I know you didn't get a chance to see, but I gotta go and check on my baby. I love you all. Thank you for joining me. Liberal Boogeyman. Everybody who joined me, I gotta go check on my newborn. He's only a week and a half old. So I love you all. Horns up, peace out. I will have another live stream about 2 or 3 hours. We got to continue this conversation. So I'll make sure I give you everybody a follow. Everybody a follow, man.
We invite to
Love
that because
him.
I definitely want to have a conversation with you about the Native
Yeah.
American stuff.
Yeah, definitely. But anyways, guys, be safe. Horns up, peace out. Good night and good luck.